boys are going to bring the heat today.
As the leader of the Booner pack, I lead from the front.
All right, boys. Lock in.
It's our core foundation, man. Grit.
I'm fired up. I'm fired the f*** up, boys.
It's bumping right now. It's got my juices pumping, boys.
Welcome to Crunch Time Sports with Jeff, Booner, Lucas. It is Friday, March 7th. It is the day of the first round mock and many other things. Derrick Barnes got his extension. We'll get into that. Klotz, he's been getting a lot of heat online. He's
Derrick Barnes.
You know what? Club. It's getting to the point where we're so locked together that if one of us has an opinion, people just assume we all share that same opinion. You know, and that's okay. You know what? Assume whatever. We'll get into it today. We'll discuss it all. What's up, man?
Oh, I was muted the whole time. You said Klotz is getting a lot of slack for the Derrick Barnes stuff, and I said as he should. I was muted the whole time. I thought I was.
Yeah, it was like
firing away.
It's like
what to do there.
When I went at Brad Holmes just because of the edge position, you know, and the drafts, and not really getting it right yet. Besides Aiden. People like grouped us all together. Like, you guys, we don't all share the same opinion. That's what makes this great. We're going to talk about it. We'll get into it because Derrick Barnes, he signed his extension officially.
Yes, he did.
3-year deal, $25.5 million, 16 of it guaranteed. It was made official today. That was a big storyline heading into free agency next week. The NFL free agency is what will Derrick Barnes do? The Jets rumored to be interested in him. Will the Lions bring him back? Will they draft a linebacker? We already had mocks with the Lions drafting a linebacker, which I don't think is completely out of the equation. But regardless, I digress. Derrick Barnes staying in Detroit. 3 years. Listen, when I saw the contract, I went immediately to what linebackers are making. And when you actually think about it, the Lions made Derrick Barnes a top, right now, as of right now, a top 16 paid linebacker. Do I think Derrick Barnes is a world-beating linebacker, one of the best, trending upward to be an elite linebacker? No, but I think he's someone that is very good against the run. He's someone that Brad's drafted, obviously knows the system. You could tell when he went down, not that he was the sole reason, but you could tell they tried to fill that Sam position in with different guys. I'm sorry, Booner. Love your guy, Trevor Nowoski. It was just never the same. They couldn't figure out that Sam spot. They had Ben Neiman playing Sam. Like, they didn't have another guy on the roster that could do it. Not saying Derrick Barnes is one of a kind, but you could tell. Like, he meant a lot to what they do defensively. He's not their best defensive player, but they love him. Dan and Calvin have been recruiting him. They've been trying to keep him. I actually don't mind this deal at all. Because the Lions, what have they told us, guys? They pay based on projection partially. I don't think you pay always based on projection, but you see it with Aleem McNeil. Like, they paid Aleem McNeil top defensive tackle money because they think he will be a top defensive tackle. I think with this, you're not paying Derrick Barnes as a top linebacker. You're paying him as a top 16 guy. Is he a top 15 linebacker right now? No. Do they think he can potentially get there? Obviously. And for the most part, he's coming off an injury, which that's where I get the pushback. But besides that, he's been relatively healthy. And I actually don't mind this contract at all. I don't, because if Jack Campbell turns into the linebacker we think he'll make anywhere from top 6, top 7 to 10 money. You have a Derrick Barnes making top 16. And I'm telling you right now, clip this. More linebackers are signing. Pushing it down.
Yep.
Devontae David just signed. Is it Terrell Bernard? Terrell Bernard? Terrell
from Buffalo.
Buffalo, yeah, he just signed as well this morning.
He just signed his. Whoop, everything just keeps dropping down. So it's 16 right now. It'll probably be top 20, top 25 by the time the season starts. So I actually don't mind this at all. You keep a guy that knows this defense a part of the team. So Calvin obviously loves him. So I have no issue with it.
And I know Klotz has his whole thing, and I'll probably go back and forth to Klotz today. I'm sure, Jeff, you'll have some things to say. I'm just going to say this. Like, Jeff,
let me shake
we're together on this, because there's a side of this thing to where, and this is how most fans should feel. And, you know, I'm not going to tell you, Doc always said, Booner, don't tell people how to feel. But this is where I feel. This is how I feel, and this is where I think mindset should be set. Brad's made it very well known over the last few years. Hey, we're going to develop guys within the building. And I think that's a very, very good thing to have, especially a 4th round pick that you're able to keep in-house And it's not like, oh, he's just a depth piece. No, he's your starting Sam linebacker, a position where, Jeff, you kind of mentioned it, that you have been rotating through guys, not just this last year, the year before, and the year before, and you've tried to have James Houston in there. You've tried everyone there, and you finally have a guy you're like feel very confident in. You have Kelvin Shepard, who is now moving to DC, who, Klotz, you're very, very confident in, who was backing Derrick Barnes and saying, hey, this is the guy I want in that position in my defense. Again, the defense that you're backing, Klotzy, with Kelvin Shepard. So it's like this guy has all the faith in him, saying, hey, we built within. I don't care what what Derrick Barnes did in 21, what he did in 2022, and his little Hard Knocks video. Oh my gosh, he's in the room with Malcolm Rodriguez. Don't care. What you should be looking at more often, and what the people who have those comments, Klotz, who have those comments, should be looking at, look at Derrick Barnes being in that room in 2022, getting beat out by a rookie. All those other guys in that room are off the football team. But guess who stepped up and now is the starting Sam linebacker on an NFL defense and got paid $25 million? That's Derrick Barnes, who went out there and worked for it and went and earned his money. And I don't care about, oh, well, he got these stats. No, he was playing very good. Let me back up because Jeff got me. I'm saying very good one time. He was playing good for the Sam linebacker through 3 games. Good. Last year, he was 4th in the team in tackles when he got thrown into a Mike position where it was like, hey, he wasn't supposed to be in that position because you had guys get hurt and you had things moving around, and he stepped up. He went in there and earned a starting job on a 12-5 football team that went to the NFC Championship game. He didn't get it handed to him. He went and earned it. So to me, and Jeff, I hope you're on my side with this.
Yeah, you're spitting right now.
He deserves to have the opportunity at the Sam spot. You can't, and this is where I get really, sometimes really, not flustered, but like, hey, hey, can you guys hear that? Real quick for Lions fans, you can't get the best players at every position in the NFL. You can't do it. You're going to have some role players in the NFL on your football team. That's the position. If you're saying, hey, Sam linebacker, dude, Klotz, you made the point a couple weeks ago that position group's only on the field 40% of the time because of the nickels that you have on this team in the secondary. You have a guy that's that good who will be, and he's 25 years old. I love it. And it's only $16 million guaranteed, boys. So like once the actual contract hits the paper and goes into the world, I'm sure there's an opt-out after year 2. And I'm sure that like the guaranteed money after that second year, to where, listen, really all this contract, boys, think about this. It's really only 2 years, $16 million. And if Derrick Barnes doesn't turn in or keep, like you said, Jeff, progressing to where you think he's going to get, then you could say, okay, we're going to move on. Like, we don't want to pay him that much. He's not worth that anymore. And that's all it is. Like, I don't think it's that big of a deal. And then next year, guess what? You can go get someone else. But listen, if Derrick Barnes was healthy this year and Hutch was healthy this year, the mindset of Derrick Barnes would be so different in Lions fan base. It would be night and day difference. People need to get that nasty taste out of their mouth of Derrick Barnes early on and be a little realistic and actually go back and watch 2023 Derrick Barnes, or 2024 Derrick Barnes, and then the start of this last year.
Okay. And I think you guys all make solid points. Like when I'm saying the points I'm about to be making, I understand what you guys are saying. So I do not want to hear the, you're not getting what we're saying. I do, 100%. Derrick Barnes is a solid player that got signed to a good contract as far as who he is. It's not a move that I view as a Super Bowl winning move. And I'll say this. This is why. What did we talk about this whole offseason? What do the Lions need to do? Upgrade their front seven wherever possible. Upgrade it. And I'm imagining, I would like to take a little break to hear what you guys have to say for 2 seconds. Yes or no questions. Do you believe that this contract makes Derrick Barnes a starter for next season? Will Derrick Barnes be the starting Sam?
Yeah,
in your opinion?
Starting Sam, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And so I look at Jack Campbell's going to be the starter. You're going to have Alex Anzalone obviously be the starter.
Yep.
Derrick Barnes being the starter. You're going to have Aiden Hutchinson be the starter. You're assuming DJ Reader and Ali McNeil, or you draft a defensive tackle and then a rookie edge. I do not see one position group, unless it's a Myles Garrett, Trey Hendrickson, this front seven turning into an absolute where you can rush with 4 and win, because this is what everybody's talking about. Rush with 4, when the reason why you have to have a nickel on the field all the time is because that they do not feel they have enough there at the edge for the linebacker spot. So you see Brian Branch come down. But my whole point is, if this situation were to be going on in Philadelphia, New England back in the day, Kansas City, Baltimore, Derrick Barnes walked, and he's not the starter of this football team because they realize Derrick Barnes got hurt this year, and we were still a top 5 run defense when Derrick Barnes was there last year. They were still a top 5 run defense. You, me, Jeff, all of us would not have been losing a peep of sleep if Derrick Barnes walked. And I think I will stand on what I've been saying all offseason. The Lions defense needs to upgrade everywhere they can. Doesn't have to be a household name. But if you look at what Derrick Barnes has done over his last 4 years, 205 tackles, 4 sacks, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble. And even if you look at the tape, it's inconsistent.
Over the last how many years?
And I'm sorry?
Out of the last how many years?
Over his whole career. That's his,
oh, okay, yeah. So some context,
so,
yeah.
So, and you go back and you look, there are 15, 20 linebackers over the last 4 years, not big names. One of these names is in free agency right now is Kaiser White, had 2.5 sacks last year, interception, 120 plus tackles. You're not breaking the bank for him. My whole point is this Lions front seven has to upgrade in whatever way is possible. If you're bringing Derrick Barnes back on this contract as a depth piece, I don't mind it, but I think he's going to be the starter. And in my opinion, they need to have a better linebacker out there than Derrick Barnes if you're not going to go get an elite pass rusher on the other side of Hutch to win a Super Bowl. That's my opinion. Doesn't have to be an elite guy, but Derrick Barnes, again, in pass coverage, very shaky, has shown spurts of being good against the run, but we have seen games where he has looked exposed. Over his whole career, when you look at Derrick Barnes goes, I want to keep him versus I don't want to keep him. What sticks out to Derrick Barnes about you guys?
For me, I will say, a couple of things. I think Derrick Barnes brings. I think he's solid in a lot of areas. Maybe not his pass coverage, maybe that, but again, for a Sam linebacker, he's like I said, he's great against the run. He's a great tackler. He's a smart player, and when you have all those intangibles, I think Kelvin looks for, and he's 25 years old. I think it's safe to say that they're looking at him as a player that has maybe not upside to be like the best linebacker in the league. But I think he'll get better.
I'm not saying that either.
Yeah. You get what I'm saying? I think they look at him as he's 25. He does a lot of things well. Again, he's not like this elite dude, but well, and he'll only get better. So that's where I think he does. Like that's why I think well, that's not why I know I like Derrick Barnes.
So projection.
Yeah, projection, and he's just solid in a lot of areas. Like I don't lose sleep when Derrick Barnes is out there. Like what are you worried about? Would it be the pass coverage? I guess.
That's like literally specific what it is. Pass coverage and even getting to the quarterback. Derrick Barnes over his career has not gotten to the quarterback consistently. He's had 4 sacks in 4 years. If I have a linebacker, again, this is why I'm not saying Derrick Barnes is terrible, but this is where you can have a chance to go out there and upgrade. Get a linebacker that can get to the quarterback. And what I think is even more important for this whole thing is you're losing Aaron Glenn. You're now inheriting Kelvin Shepherd, who I like. But again, we don't know what Kelvin Shepherd's going to be. And I can pretty confidently say he's not going to be Aaron Glenn year 1. He could be a good DC, but the Lions defense coaching-wise is going to drop off. They lost Terrell Williams. They've lost a lot of assistants. So naturally, I think a smart way to counteract that is to not keep the same guys, keep a lot of the guys, but go upgrade out of the house. If you want to, and this goes back to my point, like if Derrick Barnes were to come back as a rotational piece, I'd have no issue with it. I see him as being the starter here, especially when they're bringing guys back like Ezekiel Turner, Anthony Pittman. Now, I understand those guys can get cut in camp and stuff like that, but you see them. They're not really leaving that much room in the linebacker room. They can add one in the draft, but then why did you just sign Derrick Barnes to that deal and not just go draft someone to replace him in general? You have a rotational piece who's paid like a top 20 linebacker. You can draft 2 guys there. That's
Klotz,
my whole
there is though.
You could have got a more well-developed guy to fit this defense, and what is going to be more important this year because you have new coaching.
You say that though, Klotz, and this is where, like, for me, I start to veer off of your points a little bit. It's like you're guaranteed to go out and get a guy who's going to be better than Derrick Barnes, who's been in the building the last 2 years, and like it's not like he would have just started in 2024. No, in 2023 he was a starting linebacker for you. over at Malcolm Rod. Like you posted that clip in the Hard Knocks of Rodrigo, kind of this whole thing with Rodrigo's rookie year, but then you also forget to remind the same people, hey, the next year Derrick Barnes came in and took Rodriguez's starting spot and came in there and started the whole 2023 year and had 80 something tackles and was fourth on the team in tackles and was good in the run defense. And yeah, he struggled in that spot, in the Mike spot, in coverage, but then okay, you move him to the Sam spot to where it's like, hey, that's not as much of your responsibility anymore. We're going to use what you're great at as an advantage. Like one thing Derrick Barnes is good at, and you admit it yourself, pass or rush defense. And you can't really even say he's not good at getting to the quarterback because you haven't seen it much out of him. I just went and looked at his pass rushes, and when he started, it was like 100 or something out of like 500 snaps or 400 snaps. So it's like you haven't got to see him play Sam outside of the 3 games that we got to see this year. So like that's what he did in college as well. And that was one of the reasons they drafted him, is because in college he was getting after the quarterback, and that was he was playing Sam. So like for a guy like Derrick Barnes, it's like you can't just be like, hey, we automatically can go out and get someone new. Like, no, you have to look at the whole class as a whole, whether that's the draft class, free agency. You can't just like, and this is where like, and this isn't at you, Klotz, but this is like people outside who want to just complain about every move Brad makes. And this isn't me saying, oh, Brad Holmes, like trust in him. No, but it's realistic where you can't just go out and because you didn't like their front 7 and be like, okay, well, we'll keep Hutch, Anzo, and Jack. Everywhere else, let's just upgrade everything. Like that's just the most unrealistic take, in my opinion, that there is. Like those are, to me, like, again, this comment is not at you, but keyboard warriors and Madden players who think like, hey, I'm just gonna go trade Aleem McNeil for Chris Jones. I'm gonna go on the other side. Like, no, like I would rather, if I'm being dead honest with you, if I had to choose between bringing Levi O back at the edge and paying him, or bringing Derrick Barnes back at the Sam spot, and they're sitting there going, hey, which position can we upgrade in free agency or in the draft? And you go, I have way more trust in Derrick Barnes returning and paying him whatever the market value for him than I do paying Levi Onwuzurike coming back and having him coming off the edge again next year. Like that's how you have to start looking at it. You can't just go, hey, every single position group, we just need to upgrade because we didn't make the Super Bowl last year. Like, no. Some of these pieces have to stay. Some of them will be a part of a Super Bowl run. You bring up the Philadelphia Eagles. They have guys in there that I'm sure their fans did not like, but hey, we have to pay him, bring him back because he's a solid piece. And then win the Super Bowl and people love him. It's the same thing with every organization. That's how I look at this Derrick Barnes thing. It has nothing to do with, oh my gosh, where was Derrick Barnes last year? He's hurt. Like, no, it's this guy can help you. He's not the 2022 bum that you keep alluding to. He's not the 2021 guy. This is a guy who has developed over the last 3 years. He came in and earned a starting spot in 23, and then they moved him into a spot that this last year that's going to help him out. And he got hurt. He had an injury, just like majority of the football team. So you bring him back. You have Hutch back. You have him in a familiar defense with Kelvin Shepard, with linebackers like Jack Campbell and Alex Anzalone, who he's extremely familiar with. And then you bring in another D tackle for depth. You bring in 2 more edge rushers, and you have Zadarius, and your front 7's already more upgraded than you had for 90% of your season last year. That's it. Like, I think like people trying to say this is a bad deal really is just kind of overlooking it and trying to, and again, Klotz, this isn't at you, but like, cause I've seen it all over Twitter today. People in my comments, Booner, I'm getting tagged and stuff. It's like, no, like, let's not act like this is a bad deal. Like, this is a familiar guy who has earned his spot on this team. Just because we've had bad taste in our mouths with him doesn't mean he can't be those guys that you named in free agency. He's 25 years old, and like he had $16 million guaranteed. You didn't throw the bag at him as much as the 25 looks like it.
No,
it's
2
years basically guaranteed, and then you could probably move on if he's that bad.
I don't have a problem with like the money of the deal at all. Like that has nothing to do with it. And I agree with you. Like Derrick Barnes is solid, but like this is where I don't think, and I'm not saying that you directly said this. You could have been quoting other people, Boone, but you don't have to upgrade everywhere on that front 7. Like Jack Campbell, Alex Anzalone, you're not touching them, obviously. But then you talk about, okay, defensive tackle depth, linebacker 3. Derrick Barnes gave you, in his best season, 81 tackles. 81 tackles. Okay.
But again,
And I
he's not.
understand
He's
Ghost is
not.
saying,
You don't.
okay,
You can't go
that's-
get three
Boone, that's
guys
in that-
that give you 150 tackles. That's just unrealistic.
You don't
Klotz.
have to. I'm not.
That's what you're saying. You're saying, well, there's a guy out here who had 120 tackles last year.
You go and get.
You don't need that. You can't. You're not going to go get 3 wide receivers who had. Oh, this guy had 1,500 yards. Let's go add him. No.
No.
Be realistic.
But if you see you have a.
Come down to
Boone,
earth
let me ask
with
you
me.
this.
Come back to
Boone,
earth.
Boone, let me ask you this: if you have a
Put your feet
receiver
on the
that gave
ground.
you,
Feel the soil.
if you had a
Feel
wide
it.
receiver that gave you 500 yards last year, free agent, but then you see over there's a wide receiver that gave you 700 yards, and
It's
he
just
can do
such
this
a
too.
Madden. To me, it's just such a Madden.
It's really not.
You could
dude,
go out and
Booner,
go get an upgrade, buddy. We could get an upgrade on every player on this football team.
Exactly, but you don't have to. So where you can't,
Everyone.
we had the conversation multiple times, the three of us. Derrick Barnes is somebody you can walk away from and upgrade.
We've
So
all
I'm
said if
sorry
they
now that
sign
the
him,
day
we're fine with
now
him being
now
our
that the
Sam.
day has struck
We've
12.
all said that.
Now that the day
All
has
of a
struck
sudden, you're
12,
like, well, look at Hard Knocks. He was just sitting there while Malcolm was taking his spot.
my point of the
Isn't
okay,
it the
Booner,
worst?
hold on.
Come
Okay,
on.
because you've brought it up 3 times, I'll finally address it. The point of the Hard Knocks thing was Brad Holmes can go in the 6th round and get a guy like Malcolm Rodriguez. How many tackles did Malcolm Rodriguez have his rookie year?
Okay,
99.
but guess
How
who
much did
can-
Derrick Barnes have last year?
Who
81.
took his spot,
My point
though?
is,
Who
Brad
took
Holmes.
Malcolm's
Hold on.
spot? Who
But-
outworked him and took his spot?
My point is,
Derrick
Booner, if you don't use a 6th-round
Barnes.
pick, if you don't use a 6th,
Effing Barnes. He took
If you
his
don't-
spot. 90 tackles. Woo! Who cares? Took his spot.
if you took a guy in the 6th round that give you 99 tackles, I would come.
It's
I would get
awesome,
bricked to
but
see
he
what Brad
lost
Holmes
his
could do with the
spot.
2nd or 3rd round pick
Plus,
and a
you're
free
living
agent
in the
signing.
past. You're living in the past.
I'm
You're living
looking
in the
at what
past.
Derrick Barnes has done in his career.
Here's some
And I'm
water.
looking at
Get
what
the
I have
taste
said
out
the
of your
whole
mouth.
offseason
Wash
up to
your
this
mouth
point,
out.
and deciding now, you know what? I'm not going to switch up on what I said. I said they should move on from Derrick Barnes. I don't think that now that he's signed, I'm like, oh, yeah, I know. Let me switch up what I said. No, I'm going to stay consistent. Derrick Barnes easily replaceable. When you look at what Brad Holmes has done in the draft in the 6th round, he found
Replace him then.
6th round linebackers that could produce. I'd love to see what he could do with a top 3-round pick, because I can promise you, if Brad Holmes were to take a linebacker in the first 3 rounds, he would be able to do similar production to what Derrick Barnes would do
All
next
right,
year at the
man.
Sanders.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, Klotz, that
I'll
makes
wrap
this
up
thing. Here's the thing that makes it very interesting. 2 things I want to bring up. One, what does Brad do in the draft, fellas? Even though we like him to do one thing, what does he do?
BPA
And
does not draft for needs.
exactly. Is it crazy to imagine a scenario where a linebacker is available and he loves him so much he drafts him? Is it crazy?
Nope.
And that said linebacker could come in and potentially win a job. It could happen. But here's the thing. We don't know. We have to see to the draft. So I wouldn't rule out drafting a linebacker. Like, you never know who will be there. The other thing I want to bring up is when a player like Derrick Barnes, like, and you mentioned this earlier, Boone, I agree with it. You're not going to, and I'm not saying you're saying this, Klotzy, but I think it's a fundamental point. You can't have stars everywhere. You're going to have some really good role players.
Need to.
I think Derrick Barnes is that.
To you, we do.
I think what he does, and this is what I like out of my role players. I like him to make plays in big moments. Just give me one. I don't like Derrick Barnes is not going to be the best player after a win every game, or most games it's going to be Aiden.
Can you handle the moment?
There's going to be moments where you're like, I need these guys to step up. Like Amik, it was against the Vikings in the biggest game. Amik stepped up. And is Amik like a top 10? No, he's not. But he stepped up when it mattered. Derrick Barnes literally got a game-sealing pick in the playoffs. Like, that's what I like out of a dude. And you said you don't mind the contract, so it's not about overpay.
No, it's not.
So
about
the player, like, I'm cool
That's
with
what
that.
this
Now,
is.
could you upgrade? Of course. But sometimes I think a lot of fans tend to look at, and I do this sometimes, where like, is the grass greener? Where can we upgrade? Right. But Derrick Barnes, obviously he's doing something right. The entire coaching staff loves the dude. And what we've seen out of Derrick, and you mentioned the tackles, of course, the tackles go down when Anzo, Jack walk in the room, because those guys are tackling everything. So like, Derrick's not going to lead your team in tackling. But I think, like I said, I like Derrick because he does a lot of things well. You know, in the pass coverage you bring up, like Boone brought up, he's not going to be asked to guard. You know what I mean? He's not dropping back.
It's different than it was in 2023.
So I think in the role they have for him in that Sam spot, we haven't seen a big enough sample size to where I think he will flourish. He's 25. I think he'll only get better. So I get what you're saying, Klotzy. Of course you want to upgrade positions, but I don't know. Like you look in free agency, your boy Robert Spillane probably going to resign, right, with the Las Vegas Raiders. You mentioned Kaiser White. How old is Kaiser White?
I'll look. He's definitely older than 25.
So, but I mean, I'm genuinely asking. I'm not trying to like set you.
I'm
genuinely asking. Is he like 28, 27? Is he 30? That's something
White is 19. I look for 1996 is when he was born.
I was like,
so I'm trying to fucking.
So what is that?
He's 28, 29. Because I was 97. I'm 97.
28, 348 days.
So do you believe that Derrick Barnes will get better? Do you believe that? Do you believe Barnes will take? Now, I'm not saying not a massive step to be this elite linebacker, but do you think he'll improve and get better? Or are you just like, this guy is pretty much what you're getting for the rest of his career? Where are you at with that?
That's why, again, this is going to go back. You're getting what you pay for. And I think that Derrick Barnes will probably just stay near a similar level where he's at. Could he improve a little bit? But I think it was not going to be like a drastic step up. I still think you're going to see where he's transitioning to the Sam linebacker spot. So you're still going to see that transition of going to the Sam linebacker spot because they do run a 4-3. So those linebackers, there's a little bit more pressure on them when you're asked to be on that Sam spot because you got to be able to cover and get to the quarterback both. And again, I understand that in Purdue, he got to the quarterback, but at that Sam spot, he sets the edge good at the run. Again, that's why I don't think Derrick Barnes is a bad player. I just think he's solid. He's good against the run, but you have a lot more responsibility when you're a 4-3 Sam linebacker compared to a 3-4 when you're just asked to go to get after the quarterback. You got to be able to cover, and you got to be able to get to the quarterback. Derrick Barnes, over the course of his career, really has not been able to do that consistently. So I think he's going to be at about the same level that we saw in 2023. I don't know. I couldn't predict his stat line because, again, we got to see him at the Sam spot. But I don't think Derrick Barnes is somebody that's going to come onto this defense and be like, wow, Derrick Barnes was shot out of a cannon this year. No, I just think he'll always be kind of like you guys said, just that solid piece there. I think there's times he'll have good games. He'll have good games. And there'll be times where it's like, all right, Derrick Barnes needs to play better than that.
This is where though.
Go on.
Yeah. And this is just to me where it's like, when you build a defense like this, especially a Super Bowl defense, and you can go to every Super Bowl winner and pick out 3 or 4 guys on the defense where it's like, hey, those are just dudes. Like they're not all pros, they're not Pro Bowls, but you have 4 or 5 dudes on every Super Bowl winning defense that, hey, that's a great role player that does his job at a high level.
Exactly.
That's Derrick Barnes for you. And that's where on this defense class, you look at the safeties. You have 2 all-pro safeties. That's going to cost you a lot of money, right? You have 2 linebackers, Anzo, who we think is one of the best in the league at times. Jack Campbell, who's projecting, if we're looking at projections, we're projecting to be one of the best in the league, right? Yeah. So that's 2 linebackers right there that you might have to keep paying that are going to be 2 of the best in the league. You're looking at potentially bring Carlton back, who's the number 1 corner in this free agency, right? A Terrion Arnold, who was your first-round draft pick, projection-wise, should be one of the best in the league, right? Like that's projection, right? So that's the next position group on defense. Okay, now you go to the defensive line. Aiden Hutchinson, a defensive player of the year candidate, should have won it this year, right? Then you go to your defensive tackles. DJ Reader, one of the best run stop, just clogs the middle up defensive tackles in the NFL when we signed him. We knew what we were getting out of him. Aleem McNeil, top 5 paid defensive tackle in the NFL. I just went through every single position group outside of that, the Sam, and that one. And it's like, hey, projection-wise, you're going to end up having to pay top 5 money for most of these guys, right? Projection-wise, you have to find ways to get some just dudes and great role players that know your defense, that are leaders, that are able to come in, not be selfish, and go in there and play great football. That is that position there with Derrick Barnes. And that's what they paid him for. And you said the money's doesn't matter. That's where you look at that and go, okay, I can do it. I can deal with this because surrounding Derrick Barnes is some of the best at every single position group in the entire NFL. And he's able to hold his own, and you know he's going to handle his business. That's how I look at the Derrick Barnes signing. Like, it's like, okay, if they felt like they couldn't, if like Brad felt like they couldn't go out there and find someone better than they have in-house, all right, let's roll with it. And it's the same thing. Like, I think the biggest thing to all this, Klotzy, is the Kelvin Shepherd. The fact that Kelvin Shepherd the last few weeks is recruiting Derrick Barnes. Derrick Barnes had money on the table or was about to have more money on the table when free agency opened up on different teams. Like I read the article today, Dave Burkett, shout out Dave. But that he was going to have more money out there to leave Detroit than to stay. And he was going to turn down more money to say, hey, I'll take a cheaper deal and stay in Detroit with you guys. Like the man, like that's even if you want to talk contracts, he got underpaid based off of what he was projected to get outside of the market. So it's like, all right, you got a good deal out of a guy that's already been in the building. Yes, the only thing, and this is where I thought you were going with it, Klotz, and this is the only thing that I like when I watched your video today. The only thing that I genuinely would have been like, okay, I understand, would have been if you said, hey, he's coming off a major pec injury or whatever the injury is.
Knee injury.
Was it a knee? Oh, knee. Yeah. Sorry, I was thinking of someone else. A knee injury. That's the only thing where if you would have said that, I'd have been like, that's actually fair. Like, we can have that conversation. I could take a step back.
I just figured that was already kind of implied. Like he missed the whole.
That's the main point of the whole Derrick Barnes thing. You just came at it with an approach of you can upgrade him. You can. It's like that's an approach of every single position group on the Lions. Like you can always upgrade at any team in the NFL at any position. This is like to me, it's just like. Coach Walk said pec knee, same thing. I was thinking of a different linebacker with the pec. I can't remember who.
I don't know like where like this you need to upgrade every position is coming from. Like you're not upgrading Brian.
The front seven. You're like, you need to upgrade your front seven.
You need to upgrade.
What's that imply?
What I said is you need to upgrade where you can. I don't think you can upgrade from Alex Anzalone. Name me a linebacker that's on the market better than Alex Anzalone. I'll wait. Same thing with Jack Campbell. Safeties, Kirby, Brian Branch. You're not upgrading from them. Aiden Hutchinson, you're not upgrading from him. DJ Reader, look at the defensive tackles. You're not upgrading from him. Ali McNeil, you're not upgrading from him. Carlton Davis, it's hard, but I feel like a guy, personally, and this is me, I look at guys like Paulson Adebo, Tre'Davious Ward. They come in cheaper, or maybe things just don't work out with Carlton, upgrade from them. So that now leaves two spots. The other edge across Aiden Hutchinson and Derrick Barnes.
No. Go through the whole defense. Go through the whole defense. If you're gonna really dig deep and get nitty and gritty in this, I love Amik. Amik's really good this year, but are there better nickels in free agency right now than him? Yeah. Okay. Go to Terrion Arnold. Are there better corner twos in the? Okay. No. Let's just Klotz. I'm being fair here. Jeff, is that not fair?
You're being fair. I just listed off.
Is that not fair? Terrion and me, like you're just ignoring other spots.
I just listed off the 11 starters.
But you didn't say, hey,
11.
Maybe upgrade to your point.
We said that Derrick Barnes is going to be a starter. We don't think that Amik
Terrion
Robertson. Not? I literally said when you're talking about you're going to upgrade from Terrion Arnold this, you're going to draft.
That's what I'm
corner?
asking you. Go out and get a corner. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If you want to go in the 3rd or 4th round, like we've talked about with a guy like Darian Porter.
Gotcha,
you can. I'd like to still just finish my point.
Go ahead. I got you there.
The Derrick Barnes and that edge spot, because again, we're talking about my whole point, and our whole point about this offseason was the front seven. You're not upgrading from anybody else on starting, so we don't go down this route again. Outside of the other edge from Aiden Hutchinson and Derrick Barnes. So now that I see, okay, they're probably staying the same at linebacker. They got to take a big jump at that defensive line spot. And if they don't make a home run hit, I am now concerned because you don't really have a guy that can get after the quarterback at that linebacker spot. You don't have too many good cover guys like Jack Campbell has to develop. Anzo is, but Derrick Barnes, not good at covering. There's going to be, especially later in the playoffs, ways to exploit Derrick Barnes. I'd rather have a more flexible player like a Nick Bolton, like a Kaiser White that is better to game plan for, put at that Sam spot. So that's where I look at it again. I don't hate the deal. I'm not a fan of it.
Yeah, let's keep the same energy with these other players that potentially could be upgraded.
I've literally been saying
Terrion Arnold.
Boone, you and I and Jeff have all said out of our mouths the Lions can easily upgrade from Derrick Barnes. And now that the day has come that they re-sign, now I'm like, what are you talking about?
We had conversations and said if they bring in Jeff, I'll say this, and I'm sure you'll agree. If they bring Derrick Barnes back, we are fine with it. That has been the conversation.
And the big thing with that conversation is, yes, would we be okay with it? Yes, because they will probably draft somebody. But my point is, if you keep Derrick, and they probably have an out, like you said, Boone, in a year or 2 years, and they'll probably still draft somebody. You know what I'm saying?
So he'll be a role player then, right?
But we don't know who they'll draft.
Let's say if you draft somebody to replace, now you have Derrick Barnes, your $8 million rotational linebacker.
That's assuming the draft pick pans out. I mean, we don't know. You draft a linebacker, he turns into a really
Jack Campbell and Malcolm Rodriguez. If they panned out,
but you're not going to hit on
pick, and we're coping for him right now to
stay on
the roster.
We've literally seen that.
I'll let you guys go at it.
But if they draft,
what linebacker that Brad Holmes has drafted is not panned out.
A linebacker, he's only taken 3.
And they've hit. So as far as like 4-3 like linebackers, like the Derrick Barnes type of linebackers,
And they're
Malcolm
3 for 3.
Rodriguez, Derrick Barnes. So
in his
I
entire tenure, is he going to be 25 for 25? No, he's going to miss something.
I'm more worried about replacing the defensive line with Brad Holmes draft picks and getting it on. Brad Holmes loves Big Ten linebackers. You go look at Iowa right now. You go look at Wisconsin. You go look at Oklahoma. There are guys that could be playing in this Detroit Lions team right now.
But here's the thing, I think, and we're making it a bigger deal than what it is, because your guy Drew Stutzman, like, is that his name? Did I say that correctly? If you let's say they draft him, okay, and he beats Derrick Barnes out.
Well, you wouldn't draft him to be playing Derrick Barnes spot.
Okay.
Example. This is example.
Insert A. Lukas Klotz. You draft Lukas Klotz, linebacker out of Ohio State. And he comes in and beats Barnes out, and he's a significantly better player. You're like, oh, this dude's a stud. Okay. You have Derrick Barnes, get out of the deal in a year. Boom. Everyone's happy. Like, there's really nothing to like. He's still going to take a linebacker. You know what I'm saying? Unless you have Kaiser White, it's like, okay, Kaiser, cool. You know, I'm sure he's a fine player. But like,
you
that
can scroll through. If you go on Pro Football Reference, you can scroll through about an 80 to 90 player list of players that have given you what Derrick Barnes has done over the last 4 seasons.
That's where you need to, you need to stop comparing for the last 4 seasons. You need to start thinking about context and realistic. When he took over the starting job in 2023, just compare 23, because he was hurt for 3 years,
81 tackles.
And he didn't play for the first 2 years. So you're just making a point that is so irrelevant for the whole, like, it ruins the whole conversation. That's such an irrelevant point over the last 4 years. It is. Like, at the end of the day, it is. Because he is on an upgrade trajectory. His first 2 seasons, he was developing. His 3rd year, he earned a starting job over the guy that you keep talking about, Malcolm Rodriguez. He beat him out for the job. And then in year 4, he gets hurt in week 3, halfway through a game. So it's like, those points you're bringing up, pointless.
All I'm being sold on is projection. And something we haven't seen.
Okay, but to your point, something we could bring a guy in that did it for however, and he's 30 years old, and guess what? He could come in and get hurt as well. Projection.
I have nothing to do with injury. I'm saying production.
You said it.
Or he could come in and lay an egg too.
Hold on. Remember we talked about this with Calvin, and I guess we can move on. We spent 40 minutes on this, so we don't want to. I just want to add this, Klotz. And I want to know what you think about this, and then we can move on. But we've talked about Calvin. He's an excellent linebackers coach. You've said you like Calvin because of the job he's done in the linebacker room. He's developed players. They obviously, and it's not just based on Calvin's word, but Calvin and Dan recruiting him, they look at it like he's been here. You know how? They have. Where would you rank the Lions linebacker room in the league? Like just the room.
Like if they were healthy last year. Like if I'd have to look. They'd probably be like a top 10 unit, like top 10 to 12. It's hard to.
It's Jack Campbell, right? Anzo playing at a high level. Like Barnes is not obviously a star linebacker, but to the point Boone made earlier, even on championship defenses, the Eagles literally are stacked on every position. So like obviously you want to strive to get to that. But like the Chiefs, for example, like they have a good defense every year. But then there's times where you're looking around, and I get Spags is great, but that's what you want out of your DC, where it's like, you're going to have some role players surrounding star players. You know, like I don't know if signing Kaiser, like you're bringing in Derrick, Anzo, and Jack have played together now 2 years. Not saying that that's not a reason to upgrade, but it's a nice fallback option to have a guy like Derrick just there. You know what I mean? I still think they should draft a linebacker. I think they probably will at some point in the draft, like 6th round, maybe get another Malcolm or whatever. But to have a guy like Derrick just there, and they've been trying to figure out this Sam spot, like I don't think we need to look too deep into it. Does it mean he can get beat out in the future? Yeah, but you have him here. You know what I mean? You have a solid Sam linebacker for the next 3 years. And if he gets beat out, great. And if he doesn't, you still have a solid linebacker. You know what I mean? Like that's where I'm at with it. It's like I don't like you got a solid player. You know, like I don't think.
Yeah, I'm not going to deny that. Like I agree. Like that was like I understand Derrick Barnes, solid player. You got him for solid money. Like I don't hate that.
Solid. Who is still young. I'm not saying he'll turn into elite, but you never know. He's 25. You know what I mean? Like he's not 28, 29 years old.
You know, right? Let's minimum. You know what you're going to get out of Derrick.
You know.
Barnes.
you know what he's
But
getting.
the ceiling of it, it's like, hey, this could end up working out well. And that's, again, the contract does matter with that because that's why you only have $16 million guaranteed. And like, okay, now you're not guaranteed the full 25. And if you want to be able to make a move at linebacker, Klotz, if you want another free agent to come in, you're able to flexible over the next few years to do that. And that's like with this defense completely healthy, like that's the point of this whole thing is like, let's say last year, hypothetically, the whole defense stays healthy. Derrick's your Sam. You have Hutch. Carlton never gets hurt. Aleem doesn't get hurt. Everyone is healthy. And that's even, let's say Zadarius Smith, the top 10 defense. Top 10. That's a defense you go win a Super Bowl with if everyone last year's healthy. Correct, Klotz? Like you can win a Super Bowl. So that's the point this year where it's, hey, we're going to have the guys healthy back this next year. We're going to bring Derrick back, who he would have been on a Super Bowl defense last year. And then to your point, like you still have to upgrade. We're going to upgrade at edge. You're telling me Brad's not going to go out and try and upgrade at a couple other positions defensively. He will. He's going to bring competition in. He might bring another Sam linebacker in for competition. Who knows? But like when you look at it, it's like you're bringing back everyone last year that hurt. Now they're all going to be healthy, and you're going to add more pieces. It's still a Super Bowl winning defense. Like that's where it's like, I think the conversation of it, it's like, you're like, hey, you need to upgrade at these positions. There's certain position groups you need to upgrade at to be able to get to the Super Bowl level. Like, no, you need guys to get healthy. You need to make sure you have a corner one. That's priority number one. And priority number two as well is you need another edge rusher with Hutch. And then everything else falls into place. And that's why I'm not as like up and at him about the Derrick Barnes signing, because to me, it's corner one and edge across from Hutch. Then after that, you have everyone back healthy and you start adding depth from there. Like that should be the worry. That should be the worry. Like it shouldn't be, oh my gosh, Sam, our Sam linebacker's Derrick Barnes. Like, no, it should be who's going to be your corner one and who's going to be across from Hutch. Like, don't like if Brad messes those two up, then yeah, we can get all up in arms. But this is like such a low on the totem pole getting mad about or saying, oh, this is the worst thing. In my opinion.
Not a fan. I never said this is the worst thing ever. Never once said I hated it. This is something that if you're going to ask me, do I like the deal or not? I'm not going to be like, I said I would not like the deal going into it. Deal happened. Still don't like it.
You did say you're not a fan of it. Yeah, you're okay.
Like, yeah, there's a difference between not a fan and being like, this is the worst guy I hate, like you just alluded to. I don't think
you're not in love with.
If Derrick Barnes is out there on the field, I'm not going to be preying on Derrick Barnes' downfall. I want to be proven wrong about this, but this is just somewhere where when the season were to start, I would prefer to see somebody who was better than Derrick Barnes out there. It's not going to happen.
I'll prefer to see someone better at every position out there, to be honest, besides safety.
Yeah,
but it's not always going to happen.
I can make that statement about 80% of the position groups.
Well, speaking of upgrading position groups, did you see my guy Mike Payton? He put out the article reacting to someone from the Athletic saying to, I mean, it's Klotzy's day. I mean, all these narratives, right?
It's going to give me just
wheelhouse.
It's going to be a fucking heated first hour of the show for me. I feel like, boys.
No, Klotz is battling. He is battling, and he will continue to battle because we got another clip.
Especially on this one, I will never back down from this hill until after the draft.
Well, it's a clip of the Athletic talking about trading Taylor Decker. So let's react to what they have to say here. Let me see. Make sure the chat can see this. I've tried to fix it. Can you guys see this clip? Yes or no? Just put yes or no so we can move on here. If you can't, well, I'll just tell you what they said.
If you can't, you could send it to me and
yeah, we'll figure it out.
They can see it.
No, they can see it. Okay. All right, let's take a listen. This guy's mustache. I mean, okay, let's listen.
Elite.
Oh.
I had mentioned with Kansas City and just teams that need a left tackle in general, I'd sniff around Taylor Decker.
Sniff
if I were one of these teams.
As a trade candidate?
Yeah.
Ooh.
He's getting a little older.
Mm-hmm.
This team has spent big on a lot of extensions recently. They traded up for that 4th round developmental left tackle last year, Manu. I can't remember his first name.
Gio.
So they've got some guys potentially in the pipeline. It might be a little bit quick for that.
Not in the pipeline.
Really a developmental player when they traded for him. But that's a call I would make if I was a team that needed a left tackle here and I swung and missed on Ronnie Stanley, just because it feels like there's going to be a moment where they might have to move on from Decker given the price tag and given his age with all the other things that they're having to spend money on here over the next couple of years. They would save $22 million against the cap next year if they traded for 2026, if they traded Taylor Decker now. So it's a phone call I would make if I were one of these teams. That's all I'll say.
I had not considered that at all. But if we're gonna do what I talked about on the last show, where it's
All right, I'm done with this guy.
We
All right,
get the
let's
gist.
just get this very clear here. Okay, we talked about the idea. Now it's funny because remember what I talked about yesterday? You want to get ahead of things?
Yeah.
Talked about Decker. Guess what? Now people are talking about Decker. This isn't like a flex or
Interesting.
brag. I like getting ahead of things because it's coming. These conversations have arrived where people are suggesting to trade Taylor Decker. Okay, so again, I think me and Booner are on the same side once again. Taylor Decker, no one's clamoring. It's the same argument. No one's claiming this dude is Trent Williams. Okay, he's fine. He's a top 15 tackle. Okay, and is he getting older? Yes, he is. Will his play slowly decline? Yes, it will. But at this point in time, Decker will retire a Lion. He's not. I don't think he's a guy they will just dump. Now, I think he would retire before playing for another team. I don't know if that's like a hot take, but I think he's not interested. If it's not with the Lions, I think he would just hang it up. This is a year too early to have this conversation. It is. I think he plays this year, and if he struggles, Brad, red flag, you can figure it out then. Now, like I said, what did Brad talk about? Depth. I'm not opposed to taking a tackle at some point in the draft if you want to sit him. Because Giovanni Manu, as much as I love him, I love the upside. He's not ready to play right now. I mean, these guys from the Athletic clearly don't know who the hell they're talking about. Because Gio, he redshirted his first year. He's not going to be ready to get in there and play at left tackle. He's not.
Yeah, it's
Be able to play.
something.
So that's a terrible assumption. And to start a rookie at left tackle in a Super Bowl year would be risky because you'd have to hope he don't look like one of those rookies that struggles a little bit his rookie year. He'd have to be just lights out all year. So keep him. If you want to draft one at some point, go ahead. But this is a year too early to have the conversation. That's what I said earlier a week ago, and I'll stand on that. So, yeah.
Boom.
Quit with the Taylor Decker shit. All right.
Klotz, go ahead. I'll just go after you because I know you're on the opposite.
You guys already know where I stand.
Make a little
on
sandwich
this.
here. No diddy.
We talked about it a week or two ago. This is a move that I think would do the Lions well. And I know it's kind of one of those things you're like, ooh, like it's a risk, no doubt. But if you look real quick, look up the shooting star. If you blink, it'll be gone. You're not going to see it again. That's Josh Simmons. Okay, guys, Josh Simmons is a top five type of pick here. Okay, if he did not get hurt, there would be no Will Campbell conversation. There'd be no Membu conversation. There'd be no Kelvin Banks conversation. The fourth pick in the NFL draft, the New England Patriots. Hell, maybe if the Browns. My point is, Josh Simmons would have been the first tackle off this draft class. You know what's crazy ironic about why, again, it just fits? He was at San Diego State, played right tackle, struggled, goes to Columbus, moves to left tackle, and outside of Jeremiah Smith was their best player on offense. Didn't get up a sack. If you go watch and film against Iowa, and they early on in the game, so they only played 7 games, he is folding defensive lines in half single-handedly. Like he is, without a doubt, a Pro Bowl All-Pro type of tackle, and he's going to be falling, unless somebody smart takes him in the top 10, he's going to be falling into like the teens and the 20s. And I've seen Brad Holmes trade up for Jamison Williams, 20 pick, a wide receiver with a torn ACL who you knew wasn't going to play most of his rookie year. Josh Simmons is going to be healthy week 1, and he's going to be playing left tackle, so you don't got to sniff Penei Sewell. Oh, yeah, and you're shedding money with Taylor Decker down the road. You're getting cheaper on that offensive line. So now when Taylor Decker struggles next year and Frank Ragnow potentially retires, you don't have to worry about replacing Frank Ragnow and Taylor Decker in the same offseason. Oh, yeah, Graham Glasgow might walk as well. Kevin Zeitler is going to walk. The only guy that you really got under contract starting is Penei Sewell, and then maybe Christian Mahogany. But you're going to have to replace this whole offensive line outside of those two very quick, even with the depth pieces, because you look at Dan Skipper. He comes back, probably going to be a 1-2 year deal. So this offensive line is getting old. It's expensive. So to be able to get cheaper, to get better at the offensive line, because I know that we say Taylor Decker top 15 tackle just kind of by like reaction, just like knee jerk. You go back and you watch last year, there are definitely moments where Taylor Decker multiple games, does not look like a top 15 tackle. And now that he's played 14 games last year, he missed 3 games, has been pretty healthy before. Okay, I'm not going to say he's going to get hurt the whole year, but again, older left tackle. And this is like, if you watch left tackles, when you start seeing their legs get real skinny, Like, do you remember Taylor Lewan at the end of his career when they're big dudes, but you see the legs starting to get skinny? Left tackle.
And don't take no shots at Taylor Lewan. Take a step back there real quick.
Okay, well, I'm being real here. Like, I mean, the dude could throw me around.
He had knee injury. He had knee surgeries. His legs got skinny because he got skinny.
That stuff is going to start catching up with them. So why are we waiting on the inevitable when you have a guy that you would never be able to get again if you start sliding in Josh Simmons, unless you're trading in the top 5? And I'm sorry, I'm not willing to do that for a tackle when you have Penei Sewell. You have a top 5 pick falling, and he's the solution to next year's problem. Get ahead of it. And again, maybe you don't have to trade Taylor Decker for that, to your point, Jeff, but I think it's just, you're just setting the tone. You're getting Josh Simmons going now, running with Penei Sewell. That would be one of probably the most lethal tackle duo in the NFL for the next 5 to 6 years.
I will say this, and I don't really have a lot to say about this because I'm with you, Jeff, to a sense. I just don't need to repeat everything. There could be a couple things to the Decker downfall right now this last year. One, I do think, Jeff, this is where me and you align to where you have the opt-out after this year. I think you take a step back and let Decker go another year because this last year, the injuries, everything, and I get it, Klotz, like he's getting older, so those injuries could potentially keep coming on. And if that goes for a back-to-back year, that's when you look at it and go, okay, we're moving on. J-Mo Lion King does bring a good point. I don't know if this is J-Mo's burner. He was playing with Graham Glasgow on the left side, who was bad. Like, Graham was not good this year, and he knows, I'm sure he knows it. Like, he could have been a lot better. So even when he was playing on that left side, like, it was him and Graham was just not at that level. So, like, you know, you look at the other side, Kevin Zeitler, Penei Sewell, like, playing together. Like, we talk about it all the time. Like, when Christian Mahogany goes in, like, he's next to Penei Sewell. Like, how much does that help him out? Taylor's on the left side with Graham, to where it's like, is that going to help him out a lot? Probably not as much as it would on the other side. Like, so I think there's caveats to this whole thing. I think there's caveats to the whole thing. I agree. Like,
he's given up 8 sacks in back-to-back seasons. The season before that, he gave up 4. The season before that, he gave up 10. And he's given up the season they gave up 4. He gave his most career hurries. Like, this is just a situation where you know that it's going downhill.
David, say my point. Go ahead.
No, because I want to mention this too, Klotz, because I'm going to be honest with you. Because we agree, right? You're not cutting him this year, right? We can get that out the way.
I'd trade him.
Oh my God.
I'd trade him. I'd trade him.
So we got a whole new problem.
No. I've been on this for the when we did our top 5 most wanted.
I know, but
is
you
on
can,
there.
You can, why can't we? You can have it both ways. You can draft.
Not on mine.
You can draft a Josh Simmons and still keep Decker another year. Like,
or you can get value for him and
Klotz, who's better? Who's better? Joe? Would you rather have Joe Alt coming out of college year one? I'm talking about year one. Joe Alt or Josh Simmons?
Ooh, that's tough to say. Because
honestly,
again,
too, don't just say Josh Simmons.
No,
I'm talking about injury year one.
I would go with Alt because he put multiple years together. Josh Simmons, he really just had one dominant year, got cut short by injury.
So to that point, like as a rookie, right? Joe Alt, who would be better than Josh Simmons. When you're talking about bringing Josh Simmons in to replace Taylor Decker right away, Josh Simmons across the board, all lower PFF grades than Taylor Decker this year. Gave up 6 sacks, 17 pressures to Taylor Decker's 20. Like, it's not that big of a difference. Like rookie years, I'm just saying, as a rookie, like you're sitting there looking at it.
You think Joe Alt or Josh?
Joe Alt.
Okay. I was confused.
So it's like you're looking at like a rookie year coming in. Like, these guys aren't going to be like the best in the league right away. Like, if you don't think Josh Simmons is going to play up to even like a Joe Alt level, like that's like just such a one-off to where it's like
that's why you're getting
need to wait a year.
Though. And he was like, if you watch Joe Alt, like Joe Alt was. Again, he did have those rookie moments, but there was moments where you're like, "Oh my God, Joe Alt's gonna be a gold jacket guy."
But you need to win a Super Bowl this next year. This isn't a year where you can just sit there and be like, "My left tackle's good." You're like, no, you can't just sit and lean on a rookie left tackle as a rookie to go win a Super Bowl. That's tough.
And by the way, I see the super chats. We're gonna get to them. We're gonna get to them right after this discussion. I'll read them all for we can go through it. But the reason why I think you can have like Brad Holmes believes in best player available. We've seen crazy things happen in the first round. Okay. He likes guys. He takes them. Do we want an edge? My preference is you trade up for a really good edge. I've said that. What do I think Brad will do? I don't know. There's a possibility he drafts any position he feels like is the best player available. It's just what he is. It's what he does. Mm-hmm. Is there a possibility that Josh Simmons could be the best player on one of the highest players on his board? He goes and get him. Absolutely. I'm not even going to argue that point. My thing is the assumption that Josh Simmons It's not always going to happen for top tackles to come in and dominate right away. You see Panay do it. You see Joe Alt do it. Josh Simmons, you saw 1 year of it. He's a very good player. I'm not even going to go at him as a player, but you've also seen other really good tackles. You know,
Need to grow.
I'm not going to go like not pan out because like anything could happen. I'm not going to go that route, but
Yeah.
they could take a year or two. You know, like that's why I don't hate let's say you do get Josh Simmons. Okay. You keep Decker another year. You still have cap space. And then next year, if he struggles, okay, you have Josh Simmons getting, well, I guess he's going to be ready by the season, but still, he doesn't have to come in and be thrown in the fire right away. And then he can eventually take over. Like, that's why it's like, if you want to trade him, okay, but you just brought up how he's been trending downward. Who's trading him and for what? Like, who would want him then? If he's trending downward?
I mean, if I'm looking at the Kansas City
making
Chiefs
the money
right now,
he's making.
them,
Making the money he's making.
Making the money he's making, I would look probably, and he'd have to restructure too, because the money he's getting paid right now is just outrageous. Like if he was on a $10 million contract, boys, I probably wouldn't even be tweaking. But the fact he just got re-signed to what he did, like it's like you got to do something about it because that's too much money. And you can, again, at how he's playing, like there's going to be moments where he's a liability next season. So I'm trying to avoid that. But if you look at teams like, again, this isn't saying it's going to happen. Teams that could use somebody like Taylor Decker, teams like Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. You look at any rookie quarterback that doesn't have a left tackle. You look at quarterbacks in the playoffs that didn't have a left tackle. Like I said, you look at the Chargers, the Chiefs, they could use ones. The Broncos, they could use a left tackle. There's a lot of teams that could use left tackle. It's one of the harder positions to come by and have a real like 5-star.
No, dude, you're 100% right. Going into a Super Bowl year, just get rid of your starting left tackle.
Yes, but
smart.
Yeah, if you can find a better one, I'd do it. Like again,
no, that's smart. All those teams would love a left tackle. You're talking about a Super Bowl. You're talking about a Super Bowl team that would just love the Chiefs, a team that wants to win a Super Bowl. they love a left tackle, right? Oh, but a Lions team that wants to win a Super Bowl, they would love to just walk away from their left tackle. That makes logical sense.
Do you see where that's getting tricky? Do you see where that's?
I see where it's getting tricky, but that's why I'm saying this is the year to do it. If you're going to move off. And Boone, I understand that's your
logically it's not.
Okay.
And for me, and I think we agree, Boone. I want Taylor Decker in a Super Bowl year. I want that security. I know he's getting older, but at least I know. Again, it goes back to the Derrick Barnes. I know what he is. He's top 15. I don't know what Josh Simmons is. He's an unknown commodity. And I see Malik, even though I think he'll be good, but we don't know. And you said if you can upgrade on paper, you do, but we don't know what Josh Simmons is going to look like at the next level. None of us do. I mean,
he could struggle.
Well, here's and Malik says Evan Neal was a top 5 pick in his ass. I love Josh Simmons, but no guarantee he works out. Is that 100%.
Fair? I mean, that's fair, but again,
you're taking the point is you're taking a risk. I'm not going to argue.
You are, but we're acting like you're not
taking a giant risk.
The season taking a risk with Taylor Decker as well. Like we're acting like,
but you know what you have already. And you know, like the floor.
No, but you can genuinely finish, Boone. I was waiting for you. Okay, either way, when you look at Taylor Decker, there's going to be the season where we're like, okay, Taylor Decker's washed, and he's a left tackle. That is going to be, when you see that, it's going to be bad. It's going to be because of a bad reason, because you're going to see Jared Goff on the ground. And when he's there, okay, you go through this offseason. Taylor Decker doesn't look good this year. Graham's going to be gone. Zeitler's going to be gone. Ragnow's going to be gone. What next?
No, but here's the thing. I said, if you want to draft a tackle, cool. I'm not cutting or trading Taylor Decker. I want the security, right? For this year.
No way I'd cut him.
Or trade him for this year. Like you got to keep him this year, man. I mean, and then we'll see what happens after. You got to, in my opinion. I want to get to some super chats. 501st Legion. Thank you for the $2, brother. He says the injury was off a low, dirty block to the knees too. He's talking about Derrick Barnes. It was dirty. It was a shot block. It was terrible. It happens. I mean, it's football. Another one from 501st Legion. Self-serving, disingenuous argumentation by Lucas. Wow.
Some fucking vocab
words.
That's it.
That's vocab right there. Self-serving, disingenuous argumentation. Thank you for the $2, though. 501st Legion. Ryan, thank you for the $2 as well. Barnes has the clutches play in Lions history. That was to get to the NFC Championship game.
That is insane. I'll give Derrick Barnes his flowers there. Great play.
Yeah, ETN says that's a bar. All right, let's get to Harold Landry. All right, he got released.
Harold.
I know we posted something about it. Tom Pelissero talked about it. He was part of the Titans. And I'm going to be honest with you. I've been doing a lot more research about Harold Landry. I think on paper, you see the stats. This is where the stats, Klotz, right? The sack. Well, he has the stats. But he was available at the deadline and no one wanted to trade for him. So either A, they didn't like his contract, or B, players aren't in love with him. So I don't know what to make of him being cut. Can the Lions use him? Probably. He can get after the quarterback. What position does he play? He's more of like he's like 6'2", can rush the passer.
More of an edge.
He's an edge, but he's like, I don't know. I guess he's just maybe a pure edge. But again, he's been productive in his career. It's like, here we go again, boys. Another edge. Will the Lions sign him? In my opinion, I quite frankly, I'm open to it. I don't really care. I don't know. I'm not pounding the table for him. But hey, if you want to add depth, go ahead. But
I think we're at a point where
I think it's a red flag if a player like that gets cut, in my opinion. I just not in love with that.
No, not always. Like, it could just be a thing where it's like, I mean, it's Jeff, it's the Titans. And they just got a new regime in there, and they potentially drafted
Jeffrey Simmons then.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just a thing where, like, you look at teams like that, new regimes and everything. Sometimes things just don't work out. That doesn't mean that he's going to be a cancer or bad on a different team. I think it's just more so. Honestly, with the Landry thing, and I feel like it gets repetitive with a lot of these edge rushers. They're just stacking up now. Edge rushers are. I think it's just more so like another excuse for Brad to go get someone. Like, you have no excuse not to come out of this free agency class with a dude, right? Like, these guys just keep stacking up. There's guys getting released. There's guys that are open for trade. There's guys like it's stacking up and stacking up and stacking up. And like now, he's one of them. And it's like, you have to take a look at it and you have to consider it. Now, if you think that, Jeff, that's fair. Like, I think it's a fair point. But I know Brad probably does his due diligence. And honestly, Terrell Williams was here last year. I'm sure him and Brad had some conversations about him. Like, I'm sure they've had a couple questions.
Then why not go get him?
Well, that's what I'm saying. If there were some positive words.
Look at Malik, and this is what I read. Landry the Titans as a pass rush had one of the lowest win rates. He single-handedly had one of the lowest win rates as an edge. I think I'm gonna be honest. I'll say I think he's a little overrated. Yep. Let that simmer. Think about that for a second. That's what I think. So I don't think the Lions should bring him in, or nor will they. Jason says the more edges that come out, the less the price gets. I mean, yeah, that's fair. But this does tell me though they're picking Abdul Carter. Yeah, it's like the draft stuff now. The Raiders they traded for Geno. They traded for Geno Smith. So I don't know. I would still take a quarterback, but maybe Klotzy in about 10 minutes is going to just pull this the ball knower. They're drafting a running back, which, go ahead. It's cute. It's awesome. Pete Carroll loves running the ball. I get that. But this move, I think, actually does signal Abdul Carter. It has to. I don't know. But they did just meet with Cam Ward, so we'll see.
They might. I don't know. I just think that these edges are stacking up. It's interesting. It just every time I get an alert that comes through my phone, which I just got one. Is there breaking news? No, Caleb Zarnick tagged me to post.
That's breaking news, though.
Breaking news. Don't know what it was. No, he quoted my post. I just think like every time I get an alert that a new edge rusher, it's like boom, like all right, Brad. Here's another reason why you have no excuse now. And then Landry this morning, that was it. Struggles to get to the quarterback.
Yeah.
Again, this is okay. These are those things, though. We talk about these are those things. Jeff,
go ahead.
I'm so tired of pressures. I don't care about pressures.
No, he isn't even getting pressure.
Get me sacks. Okay, so he gets sacks instead of pressures, but now we don't like sacks.
No,
we rather have pressures.
My thing is
where are we at here with this?
No, you tried. But here, let me tell you this, Boone. It's not because you're right. You're actually absolutely right. Sacks don't tell the full story, but I like a mixture of both. I like pressures and I like finishing the play. You know what I mean? Pressures affect the quarterback, but I also like I think Harold Landry literally just goes, "Oh yeah, quarterback, sack," which is awesome. But it's not like he's winning consistently, and maybe playing with Aiden would help him. Maybe you can look at me and say, "Jeff, you're an idiot." But Brad literally had an opportunity to trade for this guy, and said, "I'm good." Threw up the deuces. So, yeah, that's where I'm at. Let's see. Harrisville says they traded away AJ Brown. Who knows what the fuck they're thinking this time? Yeah, and then we got
GM. No, it's a complete different GM.
Yeah, they're all, yeah, it's just the Titans, man. Super Bowl. Wilson says Decker stays one more year. If we don't win the Super Bowl this year, a lot of players' heads on the line. I mean, hey, that's just how it works, man. You don't win. And if you get paid, expectations rise a little bit. I get that. That guy up north says 4 for 40 for Landry. No, I'm not giving Landry a long-term deal. If you're going to sign him, it had to be a flyer. I'm not giving this man a long-term deal. I'm not. All right, let's get back to the fucking show, please. All right, let's see here. Malik says their owner doesn't know how to run a franchise. Yeah, that's amazing.
I mean, who's the Titans owner? Who is it?
I don't know. I'm
thinking of the Jags. I'm thinking of the Shad Khan guy. Shad Khan.
No, it's Amy Strunk.
I'm not familiar with Amy's game, to be honest.
I'm not familiar with Amy's game. I don't actually know how I don't know. I'm not familiar with like what she's rich for. Probably something. But yeah, the Titans, I don't know.
Probably owns like UPS or something.
Yeah, it's probably something random.
I wonder if that's it.
Jordan says, what do we need to give up for Trey Hendrickson? So actually a report just came out that it's a third round pick, Boone, I think.
Yeah, it's late second, early third. I don't think people realize this though. I tweeted it out because everyone's like, go do it. Like people see the draft compensation like instantly, and they're like, oh, early second, late third, or early third, late second. Like, let's do it. It's essentially a second or third round pick, one of the two, and a contract. Like, it's not just a pick. It's probably 30-something million a year for like 4 or 5 years. Like that's what it's going to be.
Yeah, it's
so
a big
to me. That's why I kind of make it. And now again, obviously I'm not in the room with Trey Hendrickson. I'm not texting his agent. I don't know. I don't know like what the conversations are like in the building or with other teams, to where if Trey is like, and I know you boys yesterday were like, Booner, he's going to want a long-term deal. I mean, you can always still see like there are guys who potentially would say, hey, I'll just stay on a 1 year, give me a 1 year, 30 million, and then we can go win. Like that is a possibility.
Yeah,
that is a possibility. That's it. Like, but like it's not realistic though. The more realistic is, hey, give up a second round pick, and you probably have to give the man a massive contract extension.
Ryan says, do it, Boone. We need the Super Bowl. Who cares? Brad needs an edge. I mean, I get it. Jason says Haslam refused to talk to Garrett. You guys see that?
Yeah, that was I tweeted it out this morning. That's odd. Like that's like that.
We need an Ohio translator in Lukas Klotz. Jimmy Haslam.
It's the Browns, bro.
That's why the Browns are shit. It will always be trash. That is,
and people ask me all the time why. Like, dude, the Browns, they're just a waste on the lake. That's all they are. Until they sell the team, they will never be good. You could have a Hall of Fame coach. You could have Bill Belichick as the head coach. They're still going to lose. You could have Deshaun Watson as their head coach. They're still going to lose. And then you put in Kevin Stefanski. Now he's coach of the year, and you think the situation's okay. No, okay? Anything that's going on in Cleveland right now, you're not going to win. You're sitting off the fucking Lake LG sludge, soaking in 30-degree weather with 15-degree wind chill. And the best thing you had was Baker Mayfield, and you let him go. The Browns are a fucking embarrassment. They're probably going to just cuckold Myles Garrett there for the next couple of weeks. They'll eventually have to let him go. But there's no way that Myles Garrett will be playing football in Cleveland this year. He's been through hell. He'll probably be happier getting paid or even getting fined, sitting his ass at home, than playing for the Cleveland Browns next year, especially after the owner just declined to meet with them.
I mean, what did we say, boys? How did we knew this was going to happen? It was the outcome it was the outcome we literally talked about multiple times. That's cute. You won't trade him? Well, he'll hold out. What was the report today? He's gonna hold out.
He said, I'll hold out. I don't understand.
It's so simple. Go on, Boone.
Ownership, if you want a guy to stay, you probably should meet with them and just like give your side. Like I think the fact that like you could have done anything, the only wrong move to make is literally just being like, I'll refuse to meet with you. Like, you want him in your organization, don't you? Like, you do. So why would you just be like, I don't want to meet with you, I'm declining your meeting? That's the dumbest thing in the world. I've never heard of something like that.
Yeah, it's dumb. We knew the outcome. Myles has all the leverage. Don't believe what you read. Players, although it's not the NBA, and the NBA is obviously a players' first league, a player like Myles, I promise you, like if Aiden wanted to go this route at some point in his career, he would have leverage. Like the player that's that good, they have leverage. Like they just do. I know T. Higgins is in a franchise tag situation, so like I get
It's
that.
tough.
Can but if you're under contract like he is, that's the key of this whole thing is like T.
But
Higgins
again,
franchise tag.
I
He's
think
under
Myles-
contract. I get that, but if he just refuses to play, not only are you going to lower his value because not that it'll. I mean, you're still going to have to pay something, but it'll lower it because now you're going to be, teams. If you tell teams if they would just come out and be like, you know what, meet with Myles. Myles, is this what you want? Yes. Is there anything we can do to convince you otherwise? No. Okay, let's make it happen.
I think honestly,
You're
and
gonna force the dude to play when he doesn't want to play?
you can't do it. He'll sit out. He doesn't care. He doesn't really care. He'll take the fines and everything. We've seen teams do it, and especially a guy like Myles, who has some of the most money in the NFL. He does not care, dude. Like this is the thing, and this is why I think the Lions benefit a lot from this. One, it's going to get to a point to where the Browns lose leverage. Like the Browns are going to end up losing leverage on this, and it's as soon as he doesn't play, teams again. I say it. Teams will look at the Browns and say, "Hey, we're not going to give you 2 first-round picks. Like let him just keep sitting. He could just keep sitting there. Then you're going to have to be like, okay, please give us a first round. Give us at least a first-round pick for him. Like we need to get moved. We can't just sit here with nothing. Like that's going to happen. But for the Lions' sake, it's like the one thing Myles said is like, dude, I don't care about a contract. Like. Yeah, they'll restructure it because he has no guaranteed money the next 2 years. All right, you restructure it to where the next couple of years he has guaranteed money, and you pay to where whatever you can even pay him $25 million until all of these contracts start to kick in, and you're golden. And Myles is probably like, "Yep, I'll do it," and people will be like, "Oh, Booner, not realistic. Lions will never do it." Brad's reached out twice for Myles Garrett in the last 8 months.
I was just talking to somebody on the phone today, and they were like, well, yeah, I mean, they could get Myles Garrett, but we know that's not going to fucking happen. That's not Brad's MO. I'm like, Brad literally been one of the more aggressive GMs. And to your point again, Boone, like if he's called twice showing it, there's going to be a day where just Cleveland's owner, say the name one more time. Can't think of it off the top of my head. Jimmy Haslam just going to have enough, and he's just going to be like, okay, we just got to get this done because the call is going to come from him. Andrew Berry is not going to make the call to trade Myles Garrett. He won't do it because he knows the second he does that, when you have signed Deshaun Watson, traded Myles Garrett on your resume, you're cooked. You have no hope. Yeah. So it's going to come down from ownership, and this is just a point where he's going to be, I'm the billionaire, you're on my time. There will be a time where Myles Garrett will pop up on Haslam's timeline, though, and then he'll get traded.
It's all right, Klotz. It'll all be okay. You know why? Because they're going to draft Cam Ward.
I hope not, man.
And he's going to – no, I hope he – I hope he does not go there. I
hope for some reason – that's why I said I hope they take like a tackle because even like I'm not the biggest Shadur guy. I think the NFL would be much better if Shadur Sanders turned out good. Like I feel like
I agree with that.
For viewership. I'm a Cam Ward fan. I don't want to see him rot in Cleveland. Yeah. I think Travis Hunter is a very unique talent that could be very successful. I don't want to see him rot in Cleveland. And same thing with Abdul Carter. It could be Myles Garrett 2.0. So yeah, I hope they just take like, hey, offensive lineman, defaulto.
This is what the Lions were at one point. It's crazy. Yeah, it's what the Lions were.
Boone? I have not heard these chimes. I forgot what they meant.
I thought there was a train next to me. There is a train.
I think there is, Boone.
There's actually a train by my house right now.
Fucking freight train. Loaded with
it's the man that nobody wants any smoke with. You got Torque having a day.
Oh.
You have the Pistons balling. Caleb is off the leash. Bring him into the show, Mr.
Gleyber Torres.
How we doing, brother?
Boys, I got a little different swagger to me today. I'm feeling it. Little pep in my step, Klotzy. Little pep in my step. Ready to draft.
Is that like it's bad pepperoni? Little pep?
No pep. Sure. Actually, we'll go there. We'll go there.
Hey, Caleb, and this isn't just to you. This is to Klotz. And this is to Boone, too.
Okay.
This Friday, we're doing shit different. Because I'm here. Okay? And I have something here. Just give me a second. It's time I lock in.
Uh-oh. What do we have here?
Greatness. It's time I put my reading glasses on. And we're locking in to draft the best
Oh my god.
class you've ever seen. And I'm telling you,
Here's a guy.
I think I've watched every single tape of Mel Kiper dating back to when he first began at ESPN. And I think you're going to see, I have, you want to give the picks away or what? What are we doing? Can I tell the people what I got?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. No.
We got to get back here.
What's
I'm
happening
going to
here?
crush
I
this
clicked
shit.
the button. Boom. Didn't mean to.
Let's get this going. First round draft. We're rotating picks. Boone, you want to go through, tell the people, so how the picks were? Who's got what?
So first overall pick is Jeff Iafrate.
course.
He'll have the first and the first of every four. I believe Lukas Klotz has received the second pick through our rotation. Caleb Zarnik has received the third pick in the NFL draft, and I will be picking fourth every four picks, starting at fourth. So that's the order. Now, I apologize too. The first overall pick is Jeff Kiper, not Jeff Iafrate. It's Jeff
Not
Kiper.
fielding Yates either. It is Jeff Kiper.
Jeff
So
Kiper. Jeff, oh yeah, you pulled it up. Okay, I got it.
Let me just make sure this is okay. So we're all good. Let me get rid of this so we can see Caleb here. All right, this is going to be electric. All right, and I'm going to crush this thing. And I'm going to tell you this: this is going to be the easiest first overall selection I've ever made. It's actually a layup. It's easy. I don't even have to think about it. I already talked about it. I already have my big board. My big board suggests to me. And you know what, Klotzy, can you cue the sound effect for me?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me get it loaded up so that way I don't got to move off one more time.
Can you cue?
Ready?
Hey, everyone, by the way, rules committee commissioner here. Everybody gets one trade. You don't have to use your trade. I know last time I think Caleb didn't use his.
No.
A couple guys didn't. I think Klotz tried to use his about 6 times. I don't think he
I
ended up
tried to
landing
make
on it.
moves where
I
they
don't even
could've
think
been
he
made.
ended up making one. But I'll be the commissioner. Make the trade. We'll discuss it and everything. So
All
one trade per. And if you mess up a trade, like if
You
you
lose a
Klotz, yeah, if you end up doing what you did last time, like you did like 6 times, Klotz, you're out of the pick.
It's fair.
Well, good thing I'm never going to mess one up. And
Okay.
I'll tell you this: at number 1 overall, it's
Hold on. You got to announce the pick so I can hit the chime.
the Tennessee Titans.
With the
Our
2020, with the first pick of the 2025 NFL.
All
draft.
right,
Okay, I'm
you
just
know
going
what?
to hit it.
With the first pick of the 2025 NFL Draft, the Tennessee Titans select Edge Abdul Carter
Good pick here.
out of Penn State.
Responsible pick.
Wow,
the
great
correct
pick.
Love this pick.
All right,
It's
so I'm
generational.
Andrew Barry now, ironically, guys. Okay, I'm opening up the phone lines. Anybody want it? Number 2 overall.
No.
Quarterback here. Cam Ward here. Shador Sanders here.
I'm out.
Racing Rampant to Travis Hunter. Come get him. Anybody want him? No one
I
want?
mean, I'm out.
Going twice.
He said, "I'm out."
All right. With the number 2 overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the disaster off the Lake Erie is selecting Travis Hunter,
Oh no.
cornerback / wide receiver, Colorado.
Wow, that's you know what, you got to go BPA there, I guess. You know,
Yeah.
I can't hate it.
Yes.
I'm not doing that.
Well, boys,
It's the-
I got all 3 quarterbacks on the board for me,
You do.
You do.
but there's one guy that's going to quarterback in the Big Apple.
Wow.
With the 3rd pick in the NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Shador Sanders,
Jeez.
Colorado.
Ooh.
He's made for it. He's made for the Big Apple. He's made for the
Are
Big Apple.
you? There's
And I'll
a-
say this, and listen,
Very
I'm
good
the
pick.
biggest, and I'll
Very
say this,
excellent pick.
I'm the biggest Jackson Dart guy there is. Boone, I know you really like him. I saw you've been posting about him. Love Jackson Dart. But Shador is made for the Big Apple. And Klotzy, you said it. If Shador's good, the NFL's better. And what better place?
I already hate this.
What better place to be a great quarterback than in New York with Malik Neighbors? Shador Sanders. Third overall.
Are we just going to act like Cam Ward isn't on the board?
Oh, Boone, no, we can. Hey, Boone, this is where you just got to let Joe Shine lose his job.
It's not. It's just that was just Caleb. Love you. That was the most unrealistic pick of all time.
It's not. It's not at all. It's not.
I wouldn't go that far.
It's not at all.
Like the pick.
I mean, are we trying to mess the draft up? Is that what's happening here?
You know what? No, we're not. And I'll say this too. Jeff made this point when you guys were at the combine. This narrative behind Shedeur Sanders is ridiculous. That like he's gonna slide and everything. This guy completed passes behind a terrible O-line. He's talented as hell, and I think he's a guy that could lead a locker room.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know what
this Cam Ward. That's ridiculous.
Okay, we'll see.
Hey, who's got who has Raiders, Jets? Does anyone want to trade up to the 4th pick for Cam Ward? Realistically,
Ding, ding, ding.
Hello, picking up.
John Schneider, Seattle. These boneheads in New York just decided to pass up on Cam Ward. We just traded Geno Smith. I'll give you the 18th overall.
Hanging up
and
the
I'll
phone.
give you.
Not taking 18.
Oh no!
Oh my God! This guy wouldn't even hear you out.
No.
Yeah,
the guy I want. There's a couple guys that I want. They won't be there at 18.
Fair
I'm
move.
not making that move.
Fair.
Is it who has Raiders and who has Jets?
I have the Raiders.
Do you think they want a quarterback? Oh,
No,
they
just got
just
Geno.
traded. My bad. Who has the Jets?
I have the Jets, and I'm no.
Hey, hot
Same
take.
point.
I don't care if it could happen. I would. Why not? If I'm the Raiders, you have Geno for 2 years. If you take Cam Ward, if he's there, let him sit. I don't hate that.
All right.
That's a smart thing to do.
With the 4th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select
I know he's gonna. I
Oman
knew it.
Membu, tackle, Missouri.
Hey, Boone, I respect you sticking to your guns. Might not agree with it there, but I respect it. That's your guy. Don't hate it. I've seen it on a lot of mock drafts, like you were saying, Boone.
You know what? Guess what? Pick is in. This is easy. This is probably the easiest selection in the entire draft, and I picked. I mean, back to back easy selections for me. With the 2025 what pick is that? I can't see these glasses.
That's the fifth. That's the
The
fifth.
5th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Mason Graham, defensive tackle out of Michigan.
Duval.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate it. BPA. Gotta do what you gotta do there. Okay, FA. All right. Here it is, Hef. First of all, picking up the phone. Anybody want it? 6 overall pick. 6 overall pick. Cam Ward on the board. Cam Ward here. Anybody want him? Yes.
I'm out.
Hold on. I'm looking. I'm thinking of something here.
Oh.
There's got to be someone calling up for Cam Ward right now.
Come on.
I'm
There's
number
no
9.
way
Hey,
there's not a team.
Pick up the phone.
Uh-huh. Oh, wait. Sorry, you took too long there.
I was talking. There's a delay.
Hey, hold on.
He was on the phone already.
Hey.
No.
Who's Raiders GM?
Someone do say something. Who cares?
Okay. Let me talk to. I'm Mickey Loomis. It's
Have
Mickey Loomis from the Saints.
Hey, I
Answer
hung up the phone on you. Hey, John Schneider, that's you, 18th overall?
Are you really good?
I have
You
both
can't
picks here. This is-
trade with yourself, can you?
No. That's
Are we
cheating.
making that a rule here?
No.
Commissioner, I don't know about this,
Walking in
Commissioner.
straight up
It's-
here?
Yeah. All right. Time
Step
out.
in.
Everybody.
It's Mickey
Knock
Loomis.
it off.
I'm
Klotz,
out.
take
I'm
the
out.
phone call
No.
with Jeff.
It's Mickey Loomis. Answer the phone.
All right. What up, Mick?
How's it going? Listen, your franchise is just—it's an embarrassment. And I'll tell you this, okay? I can offer you something special, something you will not deny, and that is future assets. I'm going to jump up a couple picks. Come on, your guys are going to be there. Take the call. Huh? Take the deal.
What am I getting?
I'll give
You haven't even given off.
Hey, listen. I'll give you our first round pick. We swap. I'll give you, maybe
You're not telling me where you're at. I need to know the pick number.
I'm the Saints. I'm Mickey Loomis.
He's Mickey Loomis.
I said I'm Mickey Loomis. I said it on the phone.
It's Mickey Loomis.
Mickey, you
By
think
the
I
way,
know who the
Mickey-
fuck
Mickey's
you are?
like
You're the
80.
GM of the Saints, pal. Look
No,
at the
listen.
Saints right now.
Mickey's like 80, so I got to yell. It's Mickey Loomis, man. And I'm at
You know
pick
what?
9. You
You
trade
know
back
what?
a couple spots.
Oh, that was.
You guys are in a really tough spot. You are.
No,
And-
we're not. Nope.
I'm going to go ahead and give you the charity here. I'm going to go ahead and accept it. We're going to 9th, correct?
You're going to 9. I'm jumping to 6. I'll give you a second and some other late pick next year.
The
All right,
first,
make it happen.
just force a trade. All right.
Good.
Yeah, we'll do it. Go ahead. move on.
Whose does that count towards? Jeff or Klotz? Because Klotz
So-
said I'm
Jeff's
looking
gonna
for.
make the pick, and I'm gonna go to the 9th overall pick.
And I'm saying though, someone's losing their trade for the rest of the draft. Who is that?
I'll do
Oh,
it.
that'd be Jeff.
I
That'd be
jumped.
Jeff.
Okay.
I jumped.
Yeah.
And Mickey
All
Loomis.
The New Orleans Saints are now on the clock.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Hey, Kellen. Kellen. Watch this shit, Kellen. With the 6th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, click it. The Saints select Cam Ward, quarterback out of Miami. High five at everyone in the draft.
He thought he found the fucking key.
That was,
Yeah, you're the
all
man,
right.
Mickey. Appreciate it. Hey, guys, I'm just doing my job. It's a good pick. All right, who's next?
The Jets. Caleb, you're up. Correct? Jets?
Oh, I'm up.
Yep.
One of these picks, I won't say which one, put a little wrinkle in my plans. But I like this guy right here. The pick is in. With the 7th overall pick
I knew it.
in the NFL draft,
Mickey Loomis knew.
the New York Jets select Jackson Dart,
I knew it.
Ole Miss.
I know. He's predictable. I knew it. Mickey
Wow.
Loomis beats you again. Yeah, that's what it is.
That one
wow.
was tough.
Knew he was going
Wow.
quarterback. I could read Caleb from a mile away. Guy's body language is terrible. I can read it.
Wow.
Sorry.
That one was tough. I'm not going to lie here, and I won't lie. This might be a bad GM move. I went against my gut. I have the Jets right here. I have 4 players down. Not one of them was Jackson Dart. I picked Jackson Dart literally 5 seconds before I said it.
All right.
Not joking.
Caleb's picks have been
What?
Shador
do you mean?
Sander at
Shador
30.
and
and Jackson Dart at
some
7.
people saying he's the consensus number 1. Shador Sanders
I haven't
at
heard
3.
that
People.
much.
Depends on who you're
I can't
talking
take Jeff
to,
serious.
They had
dude.
mad people. Jeff
All right.
Piper.
All right. It's time.
You got the pick, Boone, or no?
I'm looking real quick. I just want to make a couple decisions here in my mind.
Yeah, because I don't pick till the Dolphins, so it's really just you guys.
Yeah, I got back-to-back coming up here.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
I've got the pick. With the 8th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers will select Mike Green, edge, Marshall.
Marshall.
You know,
Okay.
I listen. I okay.
No, we're good. Continue. I'm just saying. I think. Never mind.
I hated that I drafted Jackson Dart. Can I redo?
He's already in the. All right, so I'm on the board now, correct? I like the pick, Boone.
That's unbelievable, Caleb.
All right,
Will Johnson on the board.
Boone, give me a little.
And Will
scroll.
Campbell.
That
Will
was going to be
Campbell.
my
The
guy.
Jets
Oh,
should have
actually, you know
taken
what?
Will Campbell.
Jets
all
need
right?
attack. Jets need an offensive line. Some
Caleb,
guy
that
or
you know
two.
what, Caleb? You got to look at
That's
yourself.
a
You gotta
fumble.
Look yourself in the mirror. You gotta
Yeah.
That's a fumble.
That
I mean,
should-
Will Campbell was
You
the
could've
number
traded
1 guy
back,
on my
Mel.
board. He was the number 1 guy on my board. I'm not kidding.
Wow.
Number 1 guy on my board.
Yeah, Mel knew.
Should have traded back, pal. All
We
right,
can't
boys.
post this.
Mel's board too.
Yeah, who's operating the mock? You ready for the pick?
Yeah, whenever you're ready.
Hey, before I make this selection, 9th overall, Will Campbell here. Anybody need it? Anybody want to trade up? O-line? Going
No.
once? Going twice? All right. With the 9th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Las Vegas Raiders select Matthew Golden, wide receiver, Texas. Give them Matthew Golden, the true number 1 wide receiver in this draft. I wouldn't hate seeing this man go in top 10. Raiders need a wide receiver 1, and I think that's the guy. Matthew Golden's a guy that gives you 100 catches, give you 1,000 yards, give you 8 touchdowns. True wide receiver 1 can do it all. They got Trey Tucker. They got Jacoby Myers. They're repicking again in a deep running back class. But
Nope.
in my opinion,
This is malfeasance.
preference here. I go Matthew Golden.
Preference. Well, your preference is going to be fucking fired in a year because this is a terrible pick. All right, and I'll tell you.
Tom
what.
Brady's making this pick, pal.
I don't know what I'm doing here right now, to be honest.
Matthew Golden. Tom Brady would never be okay with this pick.
Not at all.
He
I have Matthew Golden on my late first round.
You take him top 10, Klotzy. He should be generational.
He's a Garrett Wilson type of wide receiver.
Okay,
Garrett Wilson went 10th overall. He's a Drake London type of wide receiver. Maybe not build, but that tier.
Right,
He'll be that
who's
tier.
got the Bears?
I do. All right, hit that clock again.
I'll hit it.
10th overall. 10th overall. Will Campbell here. Got more guys here. Who do we want? Who do we want? Any offers? Any trades? No.
All right. No, go on.
With the 10th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Chicago Bears select Will Campbell, tackle/guard, LSU.
It's okay.
Does that make everybody happy now? Does it calm everybody
I
down?
think that was your probably first good pick.
Yeah.
I said it.
Out of both drafts last 2 weeks.
Mel
That was
Kiper does
a
not
lot.
approve of any other selection.
Travis Hunter, bad pick at 2.
Okay,
Yeah, I don't
actually,
like
I take
that
that back. That's a good pick. I have recency bias because of the Matthew Golden selection in the top 10.
What was I talking about the combine though, boys? Who's my wide receiver 1? Matthew Golden. Staying consistent on it.
All right, who's next? 49ers?
49ers.
Anybody want to move up? Anybody want to move up?
Niners, 11th. All 3 quarterbacks gone. I'm cool. I'm staying put here.
All right. This is a tough one. All right, we're going to do it. Pick is in.
Hold on.
With the 11th pick in the NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Jalen Walker, defensive lineman.
Wow. Wow. It's a little rich, Caleb.
Got to rebuild the interior.
Caleb.
Got to rebuild it.
Got to rebuild it.
He's not even in the interior.
Yeah,
He's like,
I was like, you're getting the guy on the edge there. You're thinking of
defensive
Mike
lineman. Defensive lineman.
Okay.
I mean, he's not even a defensive. He's like a Sam. Come on now,
dude. Caleb.
I mean, whoa, what?
Caleb.
He said, "Whoa, what?"
I mean,
I like that pick.
Klotz and Caleb, you two got to talk here.
Yeah, we did have some conversations here.
And Boone,
You
what pick
guys
you
are
got?
just upset I didn't take T-Mac instead of Matthew Golden. We've seen T-Mac to the fucking Buccaneers, so let's not act like there's a world where he doesn't fall too.
Well, I would have
Calm
taken
the top,
Will
boys.
Campbell.
I was the Raiders GM. I got Matthew Golden and trade compensation. You understand me? I did a damn good job. Wide receiver 1 after trading back. Eat one.
Boone.
Yeah.
This would be me, correct?
No, this is me.
Okay, and then I'm the Dolphins. Got it. That's what I picked one. I'm not, never mind.
Killing me, man.
Go on.
All right, with the 12th pick, in the 2024 or 2025 NFL Draft, Dallas Cowboys, they will take Ashton Gentry. Rumors are, they're not going to do it. Those are rumors. Who's laughing?
Who do you? Melvin over here, bro.
It's so funny, bro.
Melvin thinks
All right,
that shit's hilarious.
Go ahead, let's hear it. You're gonna have something to say every pick now, bud.
No.
Oh, Boone, you got no room to talk here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be honest, hey, the two at the bottom here, you guys' picks have been ferocious.
I'm going against everything on my big board right now. I'm going against everything on my big board.
Caleb's absolutely. This is one of those things where Caleb, it's like when you get on TV and you have a script. Hey, make sure you say this, and he gets up there live TV, and the man's like,
I'm going against everything. I'm going against everything.
Listen.
Fumbling the bag, and then Klotz isn't even drafting for needs or anything. The man's just going off of his. He's really just going off of his narratives, and he's like, I want to prove a point.
Okay,
He's
that's
saying,
just,
Jeff.
that's
Klotz is saying, I want to
ignorant.
prove
There's
a point
no
about my
Travis
guys.
Hunter too.
He's like, I want to make my guys look good.
Do the Bears not need an offensive lineman? Do they not need?
That was a good pick. That was a good pick.
Jeff, he's just looking at. He's taking his guys. He's taking his guys and he's like, I want to boost these guys up, and he's taking them early so their draft stock goes up. I know how this world works.
No, listen, guys.
I understand the business,
and I get it. You guys, listen, and one can only aspire to be a draft expert like myself. But I think I haven't missed a pick, and I'm going to show you why right here. With the selection, this is easy. It's a layup. with the 13th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select. Serve them on a hot platter. Ohio State tackle Josh Simmons.
Like it.
Bring him to the Dolphins. There you go. Yeah, I mean, guys, I'm sorry. I'm just this good.
Premium
Who's next? You
Tang.
can go.
All right.
Getting yourself a guy.
The Packers are
Nico.
calling, Klotz. The Packers are calling.
Packers?
They want to move up to 14.
All right. Kunta Goons. What up, baby?
I'll give you a second next year, as well as the 23rd pick in the NFL draft. And,
All
okay,
right.
and a
With the
third this year, and a
14th
third
pick.
this year. What
With
is that?
the
It? I
14th
only get one
pick.
chance.
In the NFL draft, the Indianapolis
baloney.
Colts select Will Johnson, cornerback, Michigan.
This is baloney.
It's a good pick.
Oh, let's hear how bad. Look, come on, let's hear it. How bad's this pick now?
No, I actually love this pick, Klotzy.
All right, pick us in for the Falcons.
I actually, you know what? I'll shut up. I like that pick.
With the 15th pick in the NFL draft, the Atlanta Falcons select James Pierce, edge rusher.
There
Tennessee.
you go,
I
Caleb.
get
Hey, Caleb.
Needed
Hey.
one, man.
He
Needed
one, man.
He just needed one to go down. He just needed one.
Just needed to see it. Just needed to see it fall
see it
through.
through the hoop.
Needed one.
No, that's a great pick, Caleb. I got nothing to say with that one. It's a great pick.
All right, play the tunes. With the 16th pick, the 2025 NFL Draft, the Arizona Cardinals, they will. I don't know what I just said.
Wait, what? Wait. What'd you just say?
They will select Kenneth Grant out of Michigan.
Mm.
I don't know what I was saying there. That's on
Like
me.
it. Boys.
Jeff, the Green Bay Packers are on the phone. They want to move up.
Goats.
Hello?
Jeff Kuiper,
How you doing?
I'll give you the 23rd overall pick this year,
Okay.
a third this year,
Okay.
and a third next year
Mm.
for the 17th pick. And a fifth this year.
Ring, ring, ring. There's another person
No.
calling. Three-way. Hey, the Broncos are calling. Better pick. I got a better pick. I've got the 20th overall pick instead of the 24th or the 23rd. I got the 20th, and I'll give you a 2 seconds.
I'm gonna take the Broncos deal.
All right,
Oh,
deal.
whoa, hold on. Oh, you got.
Hey, we shook. That was a shake. We shook.
Sorry, hey Packers. Hey, Gunta Kunst is nice. Hey, nice talking to you. Nice speaking with you.
I don't know if that's allowed because he heard my offer first and then he just made it better.
Hey, I called them on the phone and said, hey, what other offers do you have? They said, bam, 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 bam. I said, okay, here we go.
I don't get a chance to counter offer.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
It's already over. Commissioner already pushed it through, Caleb. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's okay.
that's the fastest trade I've ever seen processed. That's crazy.
All right, Cincinnati.
He's
Bengals.
going to take my guy too, and I'm going to throw my paper.
With the
across
17th pick of the 2025 NFL Draft.
Oh, my bad. That's on Jeff Kite.
It's
on me.
The Denver Broncos take Tatoria McMillan.
Oh my gosh, man, that pisses me off. I should get a counter offer. The commissioner. That's like Roger Goodell calling and making a trade. That's he can't just push it through.
Yeah, well,
My whole draft is ruined.
Hey.
I don't know what to go from here.
The Broncos just jumped for T-Mac. That's correct. That's
And I didn't even get a chance.
You didn't
Hey,
get a
Bo Nix, Cortland Sutton, and T-Mac. Oh my God.
Yeah, well, how soon do you have force trades on when you're the commissioner?
We have to. We're pushing it
all right.
through.
Who's
All
next?
right. I'm on the clock, boys. 18th overall, Seattle.
I'm
Phone's
infuriated right now.
Come get
Put the phone down.
18th overall.
Put the phone down. Boone will just make a better offer, and then it's over.
You can't anymore, Caleb. He's out of trades. It's just you and I that can make trades.
I'm the
now, pal.
commissioner.
Just you and I.
I'm going to get one here.
You want the phone, Caleb? Pick up the phone. Pick up the phone, baby. No? All right. Easy pick here, boys. I'll hit the chime. Don't worry about Jeff. I got it for myself. With the 18th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, Seattle Seahawks take Jahad Campbell, linebacker.
No.
What?
That's
Yeah.
Klotzy. Love this pick. I was thinking in my head.
Get away from the quarter. I don't know why we're
Doesn't
that's
draft
second
Jahad
round. Boom.
Campbell, I'm going to
Where's
be
Jackson Dart?
Klotzy, if you didn't draft him, I was going to come after you.
Yeah, no. Jahad
agree.
Campbell's the pick here.
It's like they're Bobby Wagner right here. This is what
Yeah.
that is. Love that. Love that.
Come on now.
All right.
Pick is in.
This is brutal. Caleb.
Wait, Caleb, are you looking for a trade or no?
Not with you, dude. Not with you.
Can I make a trade, please?
Hello?
Come on.
Hello?
I don't know how to pronounce the Vikings GM name, but I'm trying to make a trade with you.
Wait, so who used their trade? I've used mine.
Us
You
too.
you two are out. Me and Caleb are still alive.
If Caleb's looking to trade, he could trade with one of us still if he wants to trade one of his guys out,
Yep.
right?
You can't.
Caleb, the Lions are interested. The Detroit Lions are interested at 19. I just want you to know that. The Lions, your hometown team.
Hello?
Picking up the phone, Caleb? Hey, it's
I'm picking up
Minnesota
the phone.
calling here.
What's going on?
Hey, let me check where I'm sitting at.
I want to tell you before we go forward. I'm
24
getting
overall for 19. Give you a
Lions-
first for next year too, or
Lions-
give you a
Lions will
second and
give
a
you two
first for next
firsts.
year. Give me a
Lions
second.
will
and
give
a
you
first.
two
a first and a
Wow.
second next year?
Yeah, let's just get this deal done. Huh? Come on. I'll send
Lions
you.
will give you 2 firsts.
Come on, slide back.
Lions will give you 2
Deal,
firsts.
Klotzy. We got a
All right,
deal.
first. Nice. All right. Boom.
I'm trying to get in with the Lions. I want the Lions to move up right now. No one will listen to me.
2 firsts. You
They don't want to.
The
Obviously, Caleb doesn't want the
19th
Lions to be
overall
great.
pick in the NFL draft, the Minnesota Vikings select
Wait,
Nick Emuari.
Tampa
Hold
Bay
on.
Bucks.
Hold on.
No,
Big
because
Bucks.
you didn't put through the trade.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
well,
Oh,
Know
sorry.
the pick now. Take the safety from South Carolina.
Oh.
So just this right here.
Yeah, just offer that and take Emuari, however you say it, safety from South Carolina, the Vikings.
So okay. All right.
Yeah.
Can Jeff and I trade here?
No, I'm picking. Because I know who I want.
All right.
Both you
go
guys
ahead.
traded already.
Yeah,
right?
I think
Yeah,
it's
I'm
the
trying
player-
to get the Lions to move up real quick.
I think it's
Principle.
I think it's the guy you want, Boone. I'm sorry, I got to do this.
No, please don't.
With the 20th pick, the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cincinnati Bengals select Shamar Stewart.
Ew. Hey,
Yep.
Glad Lions didn't get him.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you that much right now.
Oh wait, whoa!
Yeah, I was wondering.
All right, 21.
Mike
Can I
Bell's still there?
can I trade up from the Lions right now?
Wait,
Whoever
bro.
has this next
No.
pick,
Wait.
let the Lions get Mikael Williams.
wait!
No, bro.
Shit! I
Let the
can't see the
Lions-
board. I gotta have
Let
my
the
own
Lions.
board.
You can ask me to move around, boys.
No,
That's
it's
all right.
okay. It's okay.
Can I get Mikael Williams
Caleb
for the
is now
Lions?
the only man that can make a trade.
Who has 21?
Just an unbelievable amount of power.
Who,
right now.
who has 21?
I don't have it.
Oh, it might
I'll
be
give you-
me.
Hey, are you looking for
It's me. I back to back.
Yeah, you are, because you made a trade.
Jeff, Lions?
Jeff
The
can't
Bucks are
trade.
calling, too.
Literally, Caleb is the only one here that
no.
can make a trade.
Hey, wait, how
What
many
we
spots?
doing
What are we
here?
moving back? So I got to go. Nope. I like it.
28.
Nope. I like the pick because the guys behind me are going to take him. I can't do it. They're gonna take him if I don't. We love this player. He's a Pittsburgh Steeler. Going to be a very fine player. And that player with the 21st pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers select. Go up a little bit. Just want to make sure I'm getting the right guys. Go up a little bit. All right, Emeka or no, Luther Burden. The third.
Good pick.
Sorry, I'm going best BPA, best wide
Whoever's
receiver.
got Chargers if they're looking to trade.
All right, this is easy. I'll hit the chime. Don't worry about it, have fame. With the 22nd overall pick, the 2025 NFL Draft, the Chargers select. Hold on. Amarion Hampton, running back,
Dude,
North Carolina.
Jeff
What do you
Kuiper has
say?
something to say.
is Tyler Warren still there?
This is such a bad draft.
I think
ain't
I get
gonna-
sucked into like the lose. Like when I do these, now I'm like a part of the problem. Like I was roasting you guys, now I'm a part of the problem.
It's such a bad that we're like trying to have these bold takes, and some of the best players in the entire draft are like Tyler Warren's not falling outside the top 20.
No.
Mikael Williams is not
Shit,
falling outside the top 15.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. That's probably on me. I think oh no, did I take it? Yeah,
And
the
boys,
Bengals
it happens
probably
every
would've taken him.
draft. In real life, it happens every draft.
Yeah, I mean you're probably right. It happens. Shamar Stewart. I'm just gonna stand on that one though. Sure,
All
why
right,
not?
23.
All right. All right, that is who?
Pick is in.
Oh, sorry.
Are you looking for trades or no?
He would be trading with himself.
He'd be trading.
No, he could trade with one of the boys, but he has to be the one involved in the trade, and then he's done.
Actually, yeah.
Can I trade with myself or no?
I couldn't do it.
You can, but
I wasn't able to earlier, Caleb.
Then you could pick one of. If you want to accept offers, I know we all already traded, but you still have one, so that means you need to be able to trade. All of our offers are able, but you have to say, "I want to trade this pick." We can't.
Okay, I'm gonna trade with myself.
You cannot do that.
I thought you just said I can.
No,
No,
you can
Klotz
trade with
tried
one
to
of
do it.
us. You can trade with one of us.
Okay.
But you have to say, like, hey, I
don't
want
want
to
to.
trade with Lions at 28.
Division trade?
I'll pick up the phone.
I'll give you a first and a second. This year's first, next year's second. Move 5 spots.
In division.
I mean, there's
Okay,
draft.
you know what? I'll do this because fuck the Packers.
Wow.
You got a deal.
The goose down the drain.
Deal.
Get her done.
Wow. So the
Forgot
That's not a good look.
yeah, no. Fundamentally, we're just having a bad day.
Jeff just said, wow.
I mean, everything I wrote down on this piece of paper.
Jeff said, wow, it got denied. Oh, man. All right. So the Lions move up to 23. All right. With the 23rd pick, the 2024 NFL or 2025 NFL draft. The Detroit Lions select edge rusher Mikel Williams. Out of
Love
Georgia.
this pick, Boone. Great pick.
I was literally Brad Holmes the last 6 picks. All I could, I was calling every single NFL at GM. Whoever's up next. I saw Mikel. It was like with Terrion last year. You keep seeing someone fall. You're like, pick up for the next one. Pick up for the next one. I was calling everyone. Hey, and then Goons to Goons, that bum. Sorry, Cleo, not you.
So
who's on the
I got
clock?
24.
yeah, and then I think I have 25. Yep.
You do. I have
Yep.
26.
Texans. Yep. Let's roll.
All right. Pick is in. With the 19th overall or the 24th overall pick in the NFL draft, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers select Jahdae Barron, cornerback, Texas.
Everyone in Houston goes, ah! Hey,
All right,
let's go.
Jeff,
right.
you are on the clock.
Nah, I
You
am
need me
off
to
the
scroll.
clock. I'm
Oh.
clocking out. I'm off the clock. All right, you know why? Because the pick's already made. I
Pick
don't
is
need
in.
to scroll. With the 25th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Houston Texans select Tyler Warren.
Thank God. I didn't want to have to make this pick next. Thank you. Appreciate you
Don't they
getting
have
that
Dalton
out the way for
Schultz?
me, Jeff.
Didn't
You
they
just got to go
pay Dalton
BPA at this
Schultz?
point. I mean, the guy's staring right at me. You know what I mean?
All right, boys. I'm running up to the booth naked here if I'm less Sneed. This is an easy one. Saw the huge issue this year. Trying to find it. There it is. With the 26th overall pick in the NFL draft, Los Angeles Rams select Calvin Banks, tackle.
Thank you. Thank you.
University of
Thank you.
Texas.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think I guys remember last draft it was the T-Mac debacle. This draft it was the Tyler Warren debacle.
Yeah.
That was
tight
the
end
one. It
deserves
just
it.
doesn't make sense.
Well, I think this pick is easy right here for 27. The pick is in.
All right.
The only thing, well, I'll say this. With the 27th pick in the NFL draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Donovan Izuruku. I have trouble saying that guy's last name.
Yeah, I
but
think it's
that's a good
Aku.
one.
I mean, we've said
Yeah,
it.
we have no clue, to be honest.
We've said it like 18.
We've had like 4 guests on, and every single guest has said it a different way.
Said it different.
We have no clue.
Yeah.
All right. This pick is also in.
It's a great pick, though. It's a great pick.
With the 28th pick in the NFL draft, the Green Bay Packers select Emeka Ibuka, Ohio State.
Wow.
This is if they don't go out and get DK Metcalf.
Wow. I'll reiterate again. Wow.
I like it. It's a good pick.
Someone's got to take Malachi Starks. I can't see a world he falls out of the first round.
Who? So who picks for?
29th. 29th. I picked 30th.
That's
so
Jeff.
This is you.
Jeff, this is
So
you.
I have the opportunity.
Yeah.
All right. The
Probably should.
Commanders are in an interesting position
because I'm looking at some players here. Okay. Can you give me a little scroll?
from the top to the bottom. Pause. Just give me a little. Sorry. Yeah. Let's go through the top here. Let me see. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Awesome. All right. I think I have an idea what I'm going to do here. And all right, we'll just figure this one out. With the 29th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select Walter Nolan.
All right. I was going to say that a good pick there. I like that one.
Yep.
All
Got
right,
to. I mean, he's the best player on the board. Got to take him.
I'm going to make this pick here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you guys are going to like it as far as where he's taken, but you're going to like the approach, I think. He's a valued member of this show. All right. Pick is in. Pick is in. With the 30th overall pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select. Oh, fuck, I'm blanking out. Go to wide receivers.
Jaden Higgins.
Isaiah Higgins.
Jaden Higgins.
Jaden Higgins. Wide receiver, Iowa State.
This is an awful pick.
You may think so.
You basically took Keon Coleman, part 2.
Yeah, and they just
another
locked up
6'4" receiver.
Klotz, that was, and I'm a big
Cooper?
Jaden Higgins fan.
Boys.
You take Malachi Starks there and you replace DeMar Hamlin.
Sure.
Ooh.
Or you can get a receiver that you didn't have last year.
But you just used a first round pick, 32 overall or whatever it was.
Klotzy, I love you. They literally took Keon Coleman last year. You literally just drafted back to back.
I don't.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know what we're doing here.
I don't know either. What are we doing here?
I'm taking a wide receiver. Josh Allen needed another wide receiver last year. They traded for Amari Cooper. That fell flat on its face. If they would have had a guy who was more productive in that game, they could very easily walk into the Super Bowl and play against Philadelphia Eagles. They need another wide receiver. Josh Allen needs another playmaker. I like Higgins. You guys like Higgins. And I think right now he's the best wide receiver on the board. And I think he have more of an impact there year one than Malachi Starks would.
I disagree, but
Sure.
it's all right. I can't see a world like
That's coming
it's
from
just not
Higgins.
going to happen where Malachi
Rubber.
Starks is like it's one of those things to where the BPA who went BPA and took a player and was like that's just BPA. I have to Tyler Warren with the Texans. Who did that?
Me.
Yeah, that's like you if a guy falls, it's supposed to be like a top 12 pick, and you're sitting in the 20s, like something like that. Malachi Starks goes. Like you're just not like, oh well, this guy like you go the best player.
That would mean their
available.
last 3 first-round picks have been offensive players.
Yeah, like you go Malachi, dude. Like that.
Kincaid, Coleman, and now
This is frustrating.
Well, take him right here, Boone. Chiefs need a wide or
I don't have the Chiefs. I have the Eagles, and they just drafted secondary last year. They have
they're losing
secondary.
Reed Blankenship.
They're bringing Reed back. That if he's on a contract,
TJ
Reed's
Gardner
coming-
Johnson.
he's coming back too.
I mean,
You're trying to tell me to do it with a team that had a great secondary last year.
all right, you know what? Caleb, go ahead.
DeMar Hamlin was like a clear need upgrade.
I'm the Chiefs here, and
Ultra guy. Bring him back cheap.
I'm not going to take best player available here. The pick is in.
There's one pick. There's one pick, Caleb. And if you pick it, I'm going to jump up and down and get excited.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the guy you're thinking. With the 31st pick in the NFL draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Donovan Jackson, offensive lineman, Ohio State.
Not gonna lie, I thought it would be
What?
Colson
No,
Loveland
that's
here.
a great pick.
I like it.
I was going to go Connerly, but honestly, we were thinking the same thing, right? I mean, offensive lineman.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Slide to guard, too.
You know
Tackle.
what? No, good shit, Caleb. I respect it. So this would be moi.
Me.
Damn.
Boom dog.
You're out of picks for the night, brother.
Go ahead. Just do it. Just do it, Boone. Just draft one of the best safeties in the league.
They don't need a safety.
Screw it. Keep drafting Georgia players. Build an entire defense full of Georgia players. That's what that should do.
I gotta see something. I want to see these contract situations. I want to see this.
You can't do live research.
Yeah, you can. I'm in the war room right now.
I mean,
can't tell me
we
what-
got a timer on the clock.
You can't tell me what to do in my war room.
No, I'm Roger Goodell. I'm just calling you right now. Hey, cut the shit, man. We got to keep this moving. Hello? I think Howie Roseman just hung up on me. That is bullshit.
You are on hold. Please wait.
You just put your boss on hold. You take the damn page. It's the Eagles. They're probably, you know what they're probably going to do?
Christ.
I'm looking at something.
They'll probably take another edge because
All
they always
right.
do, because they
With
draft-
the 32nd pick in the 2024 or 25 NFL draft. Can I get the sound?
Oh.
The Eagles, Philadelphia Eagles select Shamar Stewart.
I already
Edge.
took him.
Shamar
you do it.
Turner.
Oh
Shamar
no,
Turner. Dude,
I took the wrong guy. Oh no.
Boone.
Apparently,
I mean, that just capped it off.
yeah. Apparently, the
dumb-
Bills pick wasn't the worst of the draft.
Yeah, that was
That wasn't on purpose. That
No,
wasn't
that
on
was bad.
purpose.
Lock in.
Shamar
That wasn't
Turner.
on purpose. You know, I wasn't locked in because of how
No,
egregious this draft was.
because I was locked in and I was dealing with it too.
How egregious this draft was.
Let's throw this one away, huh? Let's
Yeah,
throw
no,
this one
that's
away and let's look forward to next Friday. And let me
Hey,
say
when
this.
we do the graphic, let me do this. We'll switch it up. When we do the graphic, I will take if Shamar Stewart was there, I would have taken him. I would have just gone Malachi Starks. The only reason I didn't do it is because I think Shamar Stewart is one of the better edge rushers in this class, and I thought he fell. So it would have been Malachi Starks at that point. So when we do the graphic, it's Malachi Starks out of Georgia. Safety.
And I'll say this. This might be harder than drafting in real life. Because I'll say this. Panic move taking Jackson Dart to the Jets. Panic move. And then I'm up in another 4 picks. Got to use my brain again. I mean, this is difficult stuff right here.
I wish I could. You know what?
The Jackson Dart pick, and I'll say this, chat. Worst mock draft pick, maybe.
All
Ever.
time. Yeah.
And I'll say that.
I mean, there was a couple of them there tonight that you could made a run for its money.
I will say I think I had an excellent draft.
I think I did outside of that very last pick. If I would have just, I did not mean to take Shamar Turner. If I didn't take Shamar Turner, I'm trying to see. Hold on, let me see who we all picked. Who had? I don't even know who had.
Plus, he
who.
redeemed himself after the my disagreement of the Matthew Golden selection. He did redeem himself.
He did. Klotz
Except
didn't
for the
do
Bills pick. I did not like that Bills pick.
that.
But
Threw me off a little bit. Klotz, who else? I guess Marion Hampton is not bad to the Chargers. I don't hate that thought process. Who else did you have, Klotz?
The Rams. I took Calvin Banks.
Love that. Nick Amaniwari to the Vikings. Don't hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, outside of that, the Raiders early Matthew Golden, and then just throwing Jane Higgins, one of my favorite wide receivers in the draft class. But doing that was and then Caleb, you had a couple.
I mean, like I said, you make one bad pick, your brain's in a spiral.
yeah,
We'll be back Friday. We'll be better.
yeah, yeah.
Should I pull this up one last time so the people can see?
Yeah, throw it up. I got to look at this shit. I didn't even.
And by the way, caveat: Shamar Turner, the 32nd pick, was not meant to be. That was a mistake.
It was a miss. He goes, like he said it's okay.
Misclick.
Shamar Stewart. He was gone like 10
Yeah.
picks ago.
It was
I
a
mean,
misclick. That was a misclick.
I took.
I
him
was
to the
like
Bengals.
wondering. I was like, how is this guy available? All right, so Abdul Carter, number 1 to the Titans. Travis Hunter to the Browns. Shador Sanders to the Giants. That one I don't like, to be honest, Caleb.
You want to throw it on the
see.
screen?
After his pro day.
Oh, can someone throw it up? Sorry, I'm on my.
I got it.
There we go. So Abdul Carter, number 1. Travis Hunter, 2nd to the Browns. Shador Sanders, 3rd. I think that was Caleb. Like I said, tough.
Sure.
Armand
disagree.
Membu, Patriots, 4th. Anyone stop me and have a conversation about this draft whenever you want. I'm just reading them off.
You can go through
Mason Graham,
Yep.
5th to the Jags. Cam Ward, 6th, traded up. The Saints traded up at 6 with the Raiders.
Mickey Loomis.
Tough. It's crazy that they get Cam Ward at 6 overall. That's crazy. The Jets, they say, screw it. Give me Jackson Dart at 7th overall.
Jackson Dart.
That's a tough one. 8th overall, Mike Green to the Panthers. Matthew Golden trade. Hey, Raiders trade back. They say, give me Matthew Golden. Jeff?
Great
Thoughts?
pick. When he
Wait,
goes
what?
for 100, 1,000 next year, you wait. Gino's gonna love him.
I
Some Matthew
like
Golden.
Will Campbell's a great pick. I mean, the fact that he got to the Bears is terrible. That's like
Will Campbell.
that's their future foundation tackle right there.
Jalen Walker. Caleb
That's
thought
tough.
he was drafting interior there.
You know what I will say? I thought you were going to take Josh Simmons or like a tackle because Trent Williams is like 45. But
I did that in the first one. I don't know why I didn't do it again. I did that in the first one we did.
Then you already did it, so you know.
Jeff, did you have a problem with Ashton Gentry to the Cowboys? You laughed about it.
I just listen. Jeff Kuiper doesn't believe in first round mock drafts. I mean, it's just
First round mock draft?
Or excuse me, first round running backs. But I will say Ashton Gentry, very good player. And if Matthew Golden's gone, probably makes it more likely.
Okay.
So hold on. I took Matthew Golden way too high, and it was 3 spots before.
No, it's not. I have less of a problem. I think it's the Raiders. I don't know if the Raiders. Oh, sorry about that. Nicole.
Who's their wide receivers?
Listen, he's a good player. A good player. Disagree with
all right.
You got to take the big fella.
Josh Simmons 13th to the Dolphins. Will Johnson to the Colts. Love that. James Pierce to the Falcons. Love that. Kenneth Grant to the Cardinals. Love that. McMillan to the Broncos. I traded up. I don't hate that. I think they need weapons.
I tried to trade up with the Packers. I wanted Ted McMillan.
That's fair. Jahad Campbell to the Seahawks. Nick Amanawari to the Vikings. Shamar Stewart to the Bengals. There we go. There's Shamar Stewart.
There it is, Boone.
Luther Burden. I did not know that happened. Luther Burden, even though I clicked it. Luther Burden to the Steelers. Love that. Whoever made that pick. Marion Hampton to the Chargers. Like that. Lions trade up for Mikael Williams. Love that, boys.
No.
Love that. Jahdae Barron to the Bucks. Tyler Warren to the Texans. Calvin Banks to the Rams. Izoroku to the Ravens. That's huge for them. Abuka to the Packers. Walter Nolan to the Commanders. Jaden Higgins to the Bills. Donovan Jackson to the Chargers or Chiefs. And then this is what's his name? Safety. Malachi Starks to the Eagles. We had a misclick there. Misclick on me.
You know what, boys? It's a good way to end the night. It's a good way to end the night. You know what? Good job, gentlemen. Even besides some boneheaded selections, but you know what? We'll get over it and we'll be better next week. You know what?
ETN said,
everyone have a great weekend, man.
Turner.
Hey, appreciate you all. Caleb, I salute you for coming on and battling.
Tomorrow morning,
yes, sir.
Caleb live.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Caleb live tomorrow with Gentry. Be there. Breaking down. I mean, the Red Wings are good, except for the last couple of games. And then they were good. What, did they lose tonight?
They lost tonight.
Yep.
I'm
Man,
sure.
5 straight.
Right after a trade deadline that was underwhelming.
I mean, me and Gentry are going to get into that. I got a lot of stuff to say about Stevie Y, so make sure to tune in.
And then you have
I almost just had a fire in my house, boys.
a very widely regarded bust of the Tigers.
Candles are
Coming alive today.
on fire over there.
He did come
pork back. You'll get to it tomorrow. Tune in. The fellas are crushing it. But until then, appreciate you all. We will catch you. Peace.
Peace. Love you guys.